We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and this is At Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week of comics and so much more. And I'm currently on vacation, so it's going to be a lot more loose formatted show tonight probably. But before we get into any of that, check this out. What is going on, Chris? How are you doing tonight?
Good, brother. Good. Hope everyone's doing well. Glad to see you. Glad to see that you're so relaxed.
Oh yeah,
Normally you're a little bit more amped up than what you are right now. So
yeah, dude, I'm
cool.
so mellow. We've had like a couple of days to do nothing, like absolutely nothing. We haven't even attempted to do anything extravagant, just have a couple of days to let all that tension you don't realize you carry around with you every day just kind of fade away and everything. I'm just chilling on the couch. I've got an oar behind me. That's how relaxed I am. Like if it floods, like I'm good. I don't have to get off the couch. Just grab the oar and start paddling. Like,
paddle that couch out of there.
Yeah, paddle. Just hang out on the couch, yell for Finn. Hop on the couch. We're out.
Very good.
I want to say hey to the chat real quick. We've got a couple people who've already popped in. First off, I appreciate everybody jumping on. This is a special time tonight. We're going at. Chris is amazing, was able to accommodate this special time. Ryan and myself are both on vacation at the same time, but separately. He went deeper into Texas, and I went farther to the East Coast. Neither one of us left our states. We just went to the ends of our states pretty much. But just realize that. So thank you to everyone who's jumping in tonight. It's a little bit later than usual, but we got Ruben Guzman saying hello. We got Freaky Louie. What's happening, brother? Always keep it low key. Mars Comics, how are you doing tonight? People saying hello. Sector 2815, what's going on, Paul? He had an awesome interview with comic book investing. That guy on YouTube with he literally just does like investing videos, like buying and selling and submitting and stuff. But it was very informative. He's a second generation collector as well. His dad was a dealer. That's where, because he's young to have the books he has, and that might sound weird, but it's not weird. Like when you have that many of a certain amount of books, it just looks like you didn't just get into collecting. And to be that age, he just grew up in comic dealing. It's pretty cool. This place is the beach house, man. The vacation.
Hold on. I'll tell you what kind. It's the nice house on the lake.
Yeah, not bad. Smooth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And by the way, that book is actually talking about spec. That book is making some gains.
Mm-hmm. Nice house.
Nice house number one. If you can find it on the shelf, pick it up. It's popping.
Yeah, I grabbed that second print. That it was fantastic. I love when they do those weathered covers like that.
Yeah.
They did it for the I think it was the third print for We Live that was the weathered cover. That first one was this whatever. The second one was all red hues or something.
Yeah.
And then the third one was the weathered one. Like you open it, looks like it has stains on it, like someone set their coffee cup on it and all that good stuff. It's just always fun when they do those. And with who is it, De La Rosa or somebody? Who did the colors for We Live? I know Inaki Miranda did the art, but
you see, do I have that?
Ava De La Cruz. It's Ava De La Cruz did the colors, I believe.
Okay. And Tyler and I actually, Tyler just said hello. We were just talking about it, that it's that and Stray Dogs are probably the most original stories of this year.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
I still haven't had a chance to read Stray Dogs yet. I'll probably read it while I'm here. I did finish God Country this morning, and I don't know if we might talk about that a little bit tonight.
Yep.
What's going on, Team Nerdy? Dude, big major station, and congratulations to TM Nerdy here. He just hit his 300 subscriber mark. So everybody in the chat, if you're not familiar with TM Nerdy, he's another one of our brothers from the Great White Northeast. Like he's in
Yes.
Canada, but they don't allow him on the mainland. Apparently, they keep him on a small island off in the middle of the ocean with its own time zone because that's how awesome he is.
No, it doesn't have its own time zone.
It
You gotta go a
does.
little bit. Newfoundland has its own
No,
time zone.
TM is not in real time. He's 1 hour ahead of real time. He's got his own Atlantic time or whatever it's called.
But Newfoundland is an hour and a half
Ahead of
us
him,
right
even?
now. No, half an hour ahead of him.
Oh my God.
That's where I thought you were going.
When they start pegging in half hours, you know it's special. Like everyone else just has to do an hour. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And
but
that's
big
where my family comes
congratulations.
from.
He's such an awesome member of this community. He's so supportive of everybody. And he's another one of those people like Freaky Louie who's just absolutely positive all the time. And that kind of stuff is infectious. I love just seeing those good vibes everywhere. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Travis is a special dude. Let me tell you a little quick story before you continue. As you know, Mark, this afternoon I released on my channel 2 Cool Guys Hot Picks, a show that Mark and I do weekly. And I went to put it in a chat that he heads up. I literally had it live on the channel for 10 seconds, and he actually had the link up before I did. So.
Yeah, he's already sharing your link into all of the group chats.
So yeah, he's a very wonderful guy. He's a great guy. Station, my man.
What's going on, Austin LeMay? While I was setting all this up for tonight, I was watching Cardboard Crazies. He had Austin and Remy Q Studios as well as Soul Twice on their live drawing and stuff. And Austin was showing off this amazing Venom piece that he just finished that he's going to be donating to Steve Berkland from Burke Family 54. This going in his monthly giveaway box, which that was severely kind of him. Like that was super generous, and it's an amazing piece as well. But yeah, he's been knocking out a lot of art lately. He's been doing a lot of those drawing shows with cardboard and stuff. And he also did this really awesome Loki that he was sending over to Chris too. That was really cool. Wheelchair Superhero, how are you doing tonight? What's going on? Blue Hellion Comics up in the building. Scott over at Hoarder's Hide. Dude, we went to our first book stop today. We always go to Books A Million when we're here up on the mainland. And my daughter comes up with it. Yeah, exactly. Bam.
Bam.
I'm sorry, you're saying bam? It reminds me of the two stepbrothers when like pow. I walk in there, I see bam written, and that just stepbrothers goes through my head. But she always gets a pow. I'm sorry, you saying pow? But she always gets like a stack of manga this tall, dude. And I always go in there and just look for the discounted trades. You know, I don't want to buy any new trades for a new trade price. You know, I got Second and Charles back home where I can spend like at most like $8-10 on like a $25 hardcover. You know, get them used or the ones that just they don't sell out on the main shelf, so they get sent to these stores with bargain prices.
Yep.
You know, so I'm just back issue hunting. You know, I'm not looking for nothing key or nothing new. Just stuff that you don't mind taking with you out on the sandy beach to read or something. You know.
Yep.
And I looked around for a while. I got a little discouraged because they normally have a large section of it. And we go and check out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, be sure to check out the rolly racks we just put out front on the sidewalk. We got all the discounted stuff out there." Like, score. So we made a couple trips to the cash register today. Finn scored some cool stuff. I scored a couple of books, but I immediately sent it to Scott here, one of the ones that I picked up because it was right up his alley. So talked to him for a little bit. Now I'm hunting down another book. Thanks a lot, Scott. He's like, "Oh, after you read that, you need to read this." I'm like, damn it. Station to the max, Trav. We got Flash 6792 up in here. What is going on, brother? Hey, Marge, people saying, hey. Mark Spector Comics up in the building. How are you doing? We got a lot of people popping in. I'm doing great, man. I don't think I could be doing much better. Tomorrow, the house just went to bed real quick tonight, but tomorrow we're getting up early and hopping over to the next island over to the water park. This is like a chain of islands right here all next to each other. They're called the Golden Isles because, like, you know, you're kind of inland a little bit. You know, the Georgia Bight. So it's not like you have, like, blue water. It's kind of just like, they call it golden, but the water's brown. I mean, I've held Crayola crayons before, and it looks just like the brown crayon. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of marsh and stuff.
Man.
I mean, the water's clean. It's just the sand isn't, like, white. You know what I mean? Like, you have the darker sand. But yeah, it's going to be a blast. We went last year, and We're gonna have fun. They don't open till 11, which I'm an early bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mark is an early bird.
Yeah. Even though I'm just starting a stream at 10:40, I woke up. I fell asleep last night. I don't know, probably about 10 o'clock. I woke up by 1 o'clock and look at my messages, and I'm wide awake, laying in bed, messaging. I secured John Jang for the C3 event, the Comics
Yes.
Curing Cancer. I did that like at 2 o'clock in the morning because I was just awake, and he's on the West Coast. But I reached out and talked to John Jang to see if he would want to participate in the big event that Chris from Cardboard Crazies is putting together, the 24-hour live stream. It's
Yep.
100% donations and auctions and sales, and all the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society.
Yep.
And I hope I said that right. But he was excited to be asked, and he's going to be donating a one of a kind remarked book. He's going to remark a comic, and if he's available, time given, he'll be happy to hop on himself and
Wow.
hop on there, show up, and sell the book. However, whatever fashion that Chris would like to do it in, and if not, the book is available to be used in the event. So that's really exciting. I'm
Wonderful.
happy to do
Wonderful.
that. Yeah, he's such a good dude, man. Chris asked, or I think Panda brought it up. Then Chris asked me about it, and I'm like, dude, he's the nicest guy in the world. Yeah, it's good stuff. Burnt sienna sand. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So I see that they're talking about that first piece. Austin mentioned the first piece that he has is a Spider-Man that he did, and he'll have it in his collection to the day he dies. I think that's what they're talking about. Are you saying Pam? Is it Pam or Pan? Is a softy? Step Brothers is one of the most quotable movies ever.
Boats and hoes.
Yeah, Comics Curing Cancer is gonna be awesome. I'm going to be saving up money because I fell asleep in the last auction where Austin put a book up for sale 10 minutes before he put it up. I shouldn't have stayed up to watch Black Widow. Like, never have I regretted watching a movie so much in my life. But I know that Austin's supposed to be putting a book or a piece up for sale, so I'm gonna be definitely going for one of those, as well as like I'm going for that Jang remark as well, obviously.
No.
Yeah, obviously. So I can promise everybody in this chat right now that neither one of those pieces are going for cheap. Promise. Yeah, we're gonna do our part to cure cancer with those two pieces alone. And there's all kinds of other art coming up. Like Chris is doing a piece himself. I think that I saw Soul Twice on his stream. That I'm not sure if he's going to be on the C3, but like everyone that I've heard so far, I would love to go after their art pieces. You know what I mean? That's good stuff. What's been going on in your life? I'm just rambling.
I was reading an article. I was reading an article today about the treatment of Taskmaster in Black Widow, and the comments just blew up, and I was fascinated that they were calling it Deadpool the sequel, and I don't mean Deadpool like the franchise. I'm talking Deadpool from Wolverine Origins.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Deadpool with Dirty Harry.
No, where they show the Deadpool.
The Deadpool.
The Deadpool. No, the how they messed up Deadpool so much at the final, the big boss battle at the end of Wolverine Origins, where they actually, sewed Deadpool's mouth closed, and Ryan Reynolds said that actually wasn't even him that was performing for that scene.
That was all
and they're saying
man.
They're comparing it to Taskmaster to that version of Deadpool. It's like,
yeah, it's getting. I've noticed too, like because I've been popping over to Facebook to look at the comments and responses about it, because there's just such a larger like group of people on Facebook talking than there is on Instagram. I don't know, at least in my experience. I'm still semi new to Instagram, but I tend to find more like open conversations and people complaining or people praising on Facebook. And I watched it kind of go downhill really quick. Like the initial people that watched it were kind of back and forth, kind of split down the middle. Now it's just kind of all lean toward the this is garbage side. And I even saw a meme where kind of what you were talking about, where it showed X-Men Origins Deadpool, then regular Deadpool, and there's another movie with the same thing where it was like done poorly the first time, then better down the
Hulk.
road. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was the Hulk. It was a villain, I believe. It was,
Okay.
I can't remember. I'm trying to find it. I don't think I'm gonna find it easily, but it was like, yeah, I can see that perspective really easily. I wasn't impressed with it looking back on it. There was nothing to Taskmaster. The mimic fighting was really cool, but it was so short
Yes.
lived. So short lived.
Yeah.
What is going on, Chip Kettler? How are you tonight? Like you would have to know going into it Taskmaster and what Taskmaster does. And I'm no Taskmaster aficionado, but I'm aware enough to know that he trains bad guys. He can pick up on the fighting style of who he's fighting in a moment's notice. So I knew to watch for that. Even when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, there's him doing his shtick. But if this is your introduction to Taskmaster, you probably don't even catch it happening. It happens so
Right.
fast.
Right. The Taskmaster that I know was reading a little bit about reading a little bit of the Avengers as a teenager, but I mostly got it from his appearances in ASM and the Spider-Man game that came out 2 years ago for PlayStation. There's a big battle scene between Taskmaster and Spider-Man, and that was beautifully done and excellent, an excellent part of that incredible video game that was out. And yeah, like I really don't like bashing MCU movies. I leave that to you. But man, they got it wrong. They
I
cut
don't feel
they
like
they
I don't bash. I'm a harsh critic. I'm a harsh critic at sometimes.
they got it wrong. I think they really got that character wrong. And
Not
I'm not going to say it's a big shame because in the grand scheme of things, it's Taskmaster. Like it's not a big baddie. It's not someone who's a part of anyone's specific rogues
It's kind of one
gallery.
of those things that like until this movie, no one cared, but now that they made the movie, people care enough to be mad about it. Like
Yeah,
Kang, how many people, like all these people on Instagram, on Facebook, all over the internet, like I don't recall seeing Kang being talked about. Like, check out this story by him. Look at all these Kang keys. But now, like everyone's like, dude, I'm so glad they're doing Kang. I've loved him forever. Like, have you? Have you?
well,
Like, he's cool. He's definitely cool. I'll be honest with you.
oh yes,
My biggest
and very
personal
important too.
storyline with Kang,
Right.
like my most favorite thing is actually Young Avengers because I was working at my LCS when that started
Okay.
coming out. So
Hmm.
in real time I watched the Iron Lad reveal to be Kang. So that's actually
Yep.
that's my Kang. Like I'm familiar with Kang, read stories with Kang, but he's
Right.
never stood out as like the coolest villain ever. I mean, he looks kind of goofy to me. I'm sure that they're going to do him in an amazing way. I don't doubt that at all. But it's just no one cared that Taskmaster sucked until this came out. They didn't care before. But I
No.
do have the Marvel Legends figure of Taskmaster from like the earlier series and stuff. I got
Like he's a cool
hundreds of
looking
those.
character. Don't get me wrong. He's a cool looking
Absolutely.
character. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
to me, I always thought he was just kind of a villainous look on what we have with Moon Knight. That other than the skull part, they look very similar to me, at least, with the white cloak and the hoodie and the whole nine yards. But for me, my knowledge of Kang came from reading the Fantastic Four in the 80s,
Mm,
especially with John Byrne at the helm. And basically anything that Byrne was touching in those days, I was a fan of before before he walked away from Marvel and did X-Men and all that kind of stuff. So the Kang that I know is directly tied to Reed Richards and the story of the whole lineage and that they're greatly distantly related, but they're both highly intelligent characters. And Kang is actually, there's nothing super about Kang at all, other than the fact that he's teched out to next Tuesday kind of thing.
checked out to the
And
gills.
yeah, like he always seems to be two steps ahead, and that he's a very much a cutthroat kind of character. He'll even kill his own, version of himself from a different story, or pardon me, from a different universe. It wasn't really known as different timelines when I was reading it. It was always different universes kind of thing, and that he, liked to play with time, and it was often referred to as Ramatut or Immortus in those stories, anyways. But yeah, I thought that I know we're going to talk about Loki a little bit, But
Oh,
I
absolutely.
thought
We can
Jonathan
go ahead and
Majors. Yeah,
we
I
can
like
do
the
it
fact.
now.
Yeah, I thought that Jonathan Majors. I was quietly surprised that we got Kang so early in the episode, and I was thankful
Yeah,
for it because then we got to see, Jonathan Majors' acting chops, and that he played
dude
a
is
Mortis.
fantastic.
Yeah, he played a Mortis in this very flamboyant type of way, and I thought it was fantastic. I know you and I spoke about, is he lying? Was he telling the truth? And that just goes to show that they actually went and got themselves an actor who can keep up with Tom Hiddleston, someone who I've often said I feel is the best actor in all of the MCU. So I thought it was great. I thought this was. I know that there was maybe one episode that you and I both thought was just kind of meh when it came to this series, but it
Yeah.
killed the. Let's be honest, it killed the other two. Other than the fact that we saw the young lady who plays the Scarlet Witch show that she had some range as well, but nothing really came of like I know that you mentioned this quite a few times. Nothing came much of WandaVision other than we got Monica Rambeau getting powered up. Nothing much really happened in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sam had the shield in the first episode. Sam had the shield in the final episode, and then we
Mhm.
lost George St. Pierre
But this
as
is
Batroc
really
the
the
Leaper.
first series that they actually
Yeah,
committed to on the level that we've talked about often, where we wish that Disney would believe in their. I'm not saying that they don't believe in their shows. They definitely believe in their shows, but I wish they would use their shows in a bigger way. Like make it
like
where the people who are
right.
committed to seeing the movies
Yeah.
have to commit to the shows a little
let
bit.
it let it become canon. Let's
Yeah.
not they
This
learn their
isn't
lesson.
Agents of
Yeah,
Shield on
right,
ABC. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
They
Where the
they they
TV
should have learned their
shows
lesson
canon
from
to
there
the
and
movie.
Agent Carter too.
Yeah. Like we get it. Like when you watch these shows, what happens in the movies is 100% relevant, but it
Hmm.
needs to be both ways, you know. And of
Right.
course it is, but do some stuff that's like really pushing the needle forward. And they did that with this. They did it big time. Even though at the same time,
Huge.
at the same time, they did kill this king.
They did.
You know, this
Well,
isn't
his
this isn't
final
the
words
king the
were,
villain.
"I'll see you soon."
Yeah, but he's not referring to his individual self. He's
Right.
referring to a
He's
variant
referring
of
to
himself.
the thousands that are about to show
Yeah.
up.
So
And I did
like
really like. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I kind of thought the final scene was very much a la Planet of the Apes. That
yeah,
whole the whole
yeah. The
Charlton
statue
Heston
was
scene
that was the Statue
where
of
he
Liberty
thinks
right
he's
there.
back home and then he looks and it's the Statue of
Yeah,
Liberty buried in sand. And
yeah,
I
that's
kind of thought that
fantastic.
whole thing where Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, had that Charlton Heston moment where he's looking and oh no, not only am I in the wrong place, I'm in the wrong damn timeline too. I'm in wrong timeline, wrong place, wrong universe altogether. And he's already in a different Kang's universe. And I thought it was pretty cool because like I mentioned talking with you and with Ryan all along, I kind of felt like a lot of the scenes were, you know, homage to The Shining, and everything is in focus, but deep focus,
Oh
and
yeah,
everything's
very
kind of looking up
Kubrickian.
on. Yes, and but I did like as soon as I saw that moment where Loki was just ignoring everything that was happening, and he's stuck in that stare the same way Heston was in Planet of the Apes. I thought it was really really cool. Thanks,
Absolutely
Jonathan.
agree.
Hmm. And
Loki is in
yeah.
Canada.
I got no Canadian
Yeah.
flavor about this
So
one, my man. You
I
got
don't know
me.
why it just hit me so hard, but I wonder how much they really did commit to this because, like you just pointed out, you know, Loki is in. I'm sorry if I'm tapping this microphone. I don't even know how it sounds on y'all's
Yep.
end, but Loki is absolutely in a different timeline. You know, like
Right.
that was us as the viewers making the poor assumption that Sylvie went back through the same door to the same uh, authority that she came from. You know, but with there being so many timelines, so many Kangs, they could be dealing with their own crap independent of the MCU movies. You know, like
Hmm.
when Kang, that's above my head right here, when he rolls out and introduces himself, it's not going to be to the Disney Plus series Loki characters.
No.
It's going to be to the MCU movie characters, and I
Right.
wonder.
It's going to be Ant-Man.
I think that this might just be like it was awesome that we get the first like soft introduction to Kang in the Disney Plus series. He's going to get his
Right.
proper introduction in the
In
MCU,
full
I'm sure.
costume, right.
Yeah.
Hmm. The
So
whole Doctor
I
Doom
wonder
look.
how long it's going to be if they're dealing like Loki is committed to dealing with Kang crap now on some level at least, you know, and
Right.
they're not hardline to have to obviously, but that's just the nature of the show at the moment, I guess. But it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes. There's so many possibilities of what they can do.
Yeah, and I do, I had to remind myself, this is not the Loki that we're used to. This is the Loki that ends at the first Avengers movie at the end of Phase 1, just steps backwards with the Cosmic Cube, and then everything that's happened has just been, a short amount of time since
I
New
appreciate
York.
you. I appreciate you calling it by its real name.
Right. Come
Yeah.
on. Like, I knew. I grew up with Starlin. Like, let's be honest. I grew up with Starlin.
Why would you have a Captain America Red Skull blue shiny cube and not call it a cosmic cube? Why would you call it a tesseract?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why?
It's the Cosmic
Cube.
It's the Cosmic Cube, right? And they're gems, not stones. But yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
They're gems, not
Infinity
stones.
gems. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's funny. I was recording. Have you seen those thin hardbacks for like? Oh my God, it's like Infinity Revelation and Infinity Child. There's like it's all these Jim Starling books. They only come out in thin hardbacks, but they're kind of big. I almost picked one of those up today at bam, but it wasn't in the bargain section. I just been steadily nitpicking them when I find them for cheap, and when I get them all, I'm going to read them. But I'm excited about those.
Yeah, I do like the fact that now we're again at behind the backbone of most of the Marvel phases was Loki, and I like the fact that Feige is going to hopefully continue to do that. With Loki will still always be in the background, and that's the one thing that I really enjoyed about big.
They use all the hell.
Right.
Yeah, Loki should have done that.
That's my whole Heston moment there. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the shirt ripped open and yeah. But yeah, I like the fact that we get to continue to have a Loki, hopefully carry on, because the Loki that we had to right up to the point that died at the hands of Thanos went through a lot of different character development. There was a lot of change and the whole 9 yards, and at the end, he seemed to be that family guy. And the Loki we have now is not that same dude. I know that he saw his own fate and his mother passing away and his father dying and then him dying at the hands of Thanos. But in the end, Loki's still Loki, right? And they got a fantastic actor to play him. So I hope that Feige lets Loki carry on, and I think it'd be really good at at the end of Kang or whenever this is going to come to an end. I still think the big bad that's coming is still Galactus. But when the Kang storyline is done, I hope Loki's there in that moment. But
the whole MCU is screwed now because Hulk hates stairs. Hey Mima. Oh, did you finish your book?
Okay.
What do you mean what book? The book you've been reading?
No, I didn't finish it, but I read a manga. I finished one book.
So did they get rid of
chop? Is that lamb chops? Do you know what lamb chop is?
Yeah.
The old kids show thing.
The puppet?
Yeah. Let me see that little bag, please.
It's just a little kawaii bear.
A kawaii bear?
It's in a kawaii.
May I hold it, please?
No.
I'm not going to open it. I just wanted to hold it. It looks just like lamb chop.
It's in a kawaii.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't believe it was English.
I dropped my tongues.
Can I see lamb chop, please?
Oh, God, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I think. Okay. Yeah.
Does this not look like lamb chop? Looks like decapitated lamb chop.
Sometimes I think that you're much younger than me. Then I think that we're basically the same age.
I'm an old soul. It looked like lamb chop, right?
Yes.
Night, love you.
And it was also a woman that worked lamb chop, coincidentally enough. But yeah, the Hulk hates stairs. What about when he punched the elevator? Will that elevator door ever open up again?
There we go. See, we're not the only ones, Chris. Thank you, Dan. This is a song that never ends. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
It's
Some
true.
people start. Dude, that's the word she said. Kawaii. See, Jonathan knows this stuff.
Kawhi. Oh, he's a basketball player that used to be in Toronto.
The ghost of Sherry Lewis will strike you down. See, we're in good company. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have checked out Sector 2815's channel yet. We fired up a channel here recently, and it's fantastic. This dude knows his stuff. Bangers.
Bangers.
Bangers. He pulled out like an epic set of books. He's been traveling to a storage unit, pulling out some stuff to do different things with, like to submit some stuff and whatnot and have you, but he's showing it off as he's getting it out of his storage unit. And he pulled out like an entire decade worth of DC keys. Like it looks like he's got like all the like late 70s DC keys just one after the other. I'm not going to spoil it. Go check out his stuff.
Who's the lantern in that sector?
Which sector 2815? Just him. But this lets you know that he's not locally either. If you're in sector 2815, you're pretty far away.
You're pretty far from home.
Pretty far from home. We're just one sector over, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris up here has a sore spot when it comes to Green Lantern. Ain't that right, Chris? For those that don't know, me and Chris were on an episode of Rigged against each other. Chris set this up. Between him and Slotted Up, I had no hand in this. I just said yes
It's
when
true.
asked. And
I wanted exposure. And it blew up in my face. But you don't ask either one of us who created Batman. Like, come on, man.
it was a trick question.
Even if it wants to be a
stopped
trick
it.
question, come on.
It was
It's
a
like
trick
saying,
question, and I cut it before
who created Spider-Man? Of course I'm going to give Ditko his props too. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, you beat me fair and square.
Yeah, I didn't
Technically
use my
by
rig
one.
question, so technically by 13. I'm almost 37 years old. I knew some of the best TV shows. Agreed. Can't wait for What If. There we go. The new I'll admittedly have not watched the trailer for What If yet. I've looked at the poster for it and everything. I'm excited and I'm definitely not upset. I'm kind of in a state of I wish they would have though. Definitely a state of wish they would have. So for the What If series, I found out that they're just going to be what ifing the existing Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, which makes perfect sense. But I was just hearing it announced, like, oh, they're doing a What If series, and my mind immediately goes back to the hundreds of books with the limitless possibilities. And it just when that news first hit me, I'm like, why would they limit themselves to just these movies? But you're playing. You're making this show for the audience of those movies. So yeah, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly makes sense. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for it now. I got over that initial what could have been thing, and if they do it well and it's received well, they can keep doing them as long as they keep making movies. And it would have been a freebie to start introducing characters that you can't put into films yet. Like you start using X-Men or something like that in this series. That it's an animated movie or an animated TV show on a specific platform. So you're really hardlining to your core audience, like your major core audience, not a general audience here. So I think that's a good opportunity to kind of throw them an extra bone, like sneak a Wolverine in there,
Right. What if Wolverine killed the Hulk? Right.
How about just dude? What if they could have just thrown Omega Red and Mephisto in an episode of this and been done with it? Like we're done with them. We can now everyone can shut up and we can just use them whenever we're ready to use them.
Right. Well,
that would have been the move. What if Mephisto fought Omega Red and a whole episode for the speculators? That would have been great.
I do think Austin is right. I do think it looks awesome. The artwork looks terrific. It has its own same stylized type of animation. But who did create that?
It was Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. They created Batman in 1938.
Stop it! Stop your foolishness. But yeah,
what is up, Ignacio? How are you tonight?
I'm looking forward to the zombified What If that seems to be coming.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's them really pulling back the curtain on new properties because the whole zombie universe has not been introduced at all. It was first introduced in Ultimate Fantastic Four when Reed from a different dimension was reaching out to other Reed, and it turned out to be Zombie Reed, and that's where the whole Marvel Zombies got its start, which was
And then
that was a fantastic series. Yeah, it exploded. Just watching the Hulk bite the head off Silver Surfer. See, everyone who thinks that I don't read Marvel, I used to read a lot of Marvel.
and
like
they
tons of
tortured the
Marvels.
poor Black Panther in that
Yeah,
series.
they
My
cut his
God, the
arm off, his
poor,
leg off, eating him
poor
slowly.
Black Panther. Yeah.
And him walking around carrying Janet's head and everything.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, another cool thing about the What If, it's the last time Chadwick Boseman does any professional work, apparently. His
He
voice,
did his
yeah,
voiceover in it.
yeah, the voice. They basically got most of the real actors to do voiceover work, except for I believe Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. So
Gotta pay.
Chadwick Boseman does do
Big
his
money.
own. He does do his own work, and I believe that's what I read was that's the last time that he actually did, you know, any type of acting.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
Mhm.
So, also news from my end. Wednesday on New Comic Book Day, we're going to get up early and hop down a state because we're right here by Florida. Like I've explained to you, and well, you're pretty familiar with geography, anyways. But where I live in Augusta, Georgia, we're right on the Savannah River, and the Savannah River is what separates Georgia and South Carolina.
Yep.
So I live in Augusta, but it takes me like a couple of minutes just to cross a bridge and be in South Carolina. I'm like right by downtown Augusta where I live. And so like there's Augusta is like split by the river. You have Augusta, then North Augusta in South Carolina. That's pretty much how Jacksonville, Florida is. It's like right on the border of Florida. So we're going to just drive a handful of miles down the highway Wednesday and go hit up Jacksonville and hit the LCS there and spend the day in Florida doing, I don't know, bath salts or whatever you do in Florida. But
I thought you were going to say walk around with mouse ears, but yeah, you can do that too, man.
Yeah, we're going to go hit up them bath salts after the shop. But hopefully I'll be able to.
And then pretend to be Marvel Zombies, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It comes full circle. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to go hit up another shop and see what kind of wall books they have, or see I looked up two different shops. There's one up in Charleston and there's one down in Jacksonville. They're exact same distance, opposite directions. And it just seems more enjoyable for everybody if we go over state lines, because let's go to Florida for a day, and
yeah.
And the one up there looks like it's less well kept, if that makes sense. Like the one that we're going to, it looks like all their back issue boxes are those hard plastic BCW bins, even, like they have like nice wood grain floors. So I'm like, okay, this place is going to be well organized, cherry picked, and overpriced. Or you can go up to the one that just has stacks of boxes, just
like a garage sale.
Dude, but that's where you want to go back issue shopping. That's the move.
Where you're going to find the first Calvin Ellis.
Yeah. Screw you, Chris.
Bam.
But you also run the risk that's been going on a lot is where like people aren't pricing their back issues because they're not able to keep it clean, and they're pricing it at the cash register, and I'd hate to drive that distance for that crap. So we're just gonna go down to Jacksonville, hit up an LCS and all that good stuff Wednesday. So it's water park tomorrow. I think Tuesday we were planning on going out on the boat to the dolphins. Like we had a good friend who runs dolphin tour boats here, so we go every year and just spend like the day riding around on the boat. Well, the morning, like go early and just when it gets hot, just hop off, and there's a real nice restaurant right on the wharf that we love to eat at and stuff, and just hang out on that island for the day. They got like a sea turtle hospital and museum and whole thing they set up to fund the sea turtle hospital operation, because over here, like you hit any beach and they have like those barriers built around turtle nests where you're not allowed to like walk up on them because it's just so prevalent here.
Yep.
But yeah, we got all kinds of fun stuff planned. I'm hoping to get a little bit of video of that shop and everything. I think I'm going to do it like Bert did and not ask, just go up in there, run up in their shop filming.
Just give her.
Yeah. But I got a salt guy, Mark.
So good.
Chris, you have a Seinfeld shirt?
I know where you're going, and I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I don't. For a second, I was starting to think Chris was, but
The
I don't
math
think
isn't
he
there.
is. I think that I think the War Machine Punisher is present in my chat right now. I'm not going to say who I think it is, but they have commented in here. I learned Chris on art with the professor for a bit. We'll post my drawings on IG. Oh, awesome! I saw where you joined. Right. Probably had to hop off, Dan. But yeah, today I did film at a little bit. I didn't try to go live. I'm going to attempt to try to. I don't know. I'm going to attempt to try to edit it into something. I'm not going to do any fancy editing it. I'm just going to try to insert it. I'm going to try to insert this video into a video because it was fun. Like my daughter was slightly participative, which is really cool. Finn was very into it, as usual.
Making friends everywhere he goes.
Dude, he does. He really does. He's a social butterfly. What's going on, Carlito? But yeah, I don't have any of my books here with me, and to be honest with you, it's going to be hard for me to remember what all I've read. But I have read a good bit. There's a few that I definitely would like to hit on. I don't like it if you are able to read them as well. Otherwise, I can just kind of tell you about them. What have you managed to read already this week?
I'll show you what I picked up from New Comic Book Day. The cover of the week. You probably know where I'm going to go with this. It's Bermeo as always. Whenever Bermeo does something, it's usually always the cover of the week, in my opinion. It's Detective Comics 1039.
Yeah,
and
that
it would
is
be
gorgeous.
it would be cheese for me to say this cover is fire.
Yeah, but it's
Because,
appropriate. So go ahead and say it.
but yeah, this cover is fire.
That's fire, Bo. That one right there, that's fire.
And I haven't read yet issue 775 of Wonder Woman. I haven't read yet, and it's kind of painful. I'm going to show this because I know that you're probably going to get pissed that this is still on my pull list.
So Chris isn't able to be here anymore. He's too busy reading crappy Iron Man books. I'm just kidding, man. Now, dude, I understand completely. I didn't drop it till one issue ago. I got the annual that came out, and the one that came out after the annual. I'm like, why? I'm like 3 issues behind on reading it because I just set it down, and I'm like, I'll get to it, and then I forget that I even have it. Like, how do I forget that I'm not even through a story? Like that tells you everything you need to know about that story. But the Ross covers on this run are ridiculously good. Like
it's Iron Man and Ultimo here, but yeah, all joking aside, Alex Ross is saving this series with the covers alone. Normally I think Cantwell's actually not a bad writer. It's just I thought it was going to be so much better than what the mess that Dan Slott left Iron Man with, and it hasn't picked up. So I'm gonna have to email my LCS and say.
I appreciate it, Paul. Yeah, keep an eye out. And since Paul just mentioned there, starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. All my pre-recorded videos drop at 7 a.m. because I'm big into the allow people to wake up to content. I'm not trying to ping your notifications at major parts of the day, so it just should be there when people wake up. But starting tomorrow is my Week of Key series that are pre-recorded ahead of time and uploaded. So for 5 days straight, we're going to have a week of keys. They're all books that I've purchased recently that have not been in my collection, have not been opened or added until I filmed them for this series. And they're not BS keys either. They're legit books. And there might have been an Easter egg for one mentioned here earlier tonight. F you, Chris.
If you're paying attention,
you might have caught an Easter egg.
You may have picked up something. I picked up issue 15 of Donny Cates' Thor. I haven't read it. I actually meant to read it. Yeah, Tyler's absolutely right. I'm interested in see where this new arc goes, but again, I'm tired of artists kind of lazy, like it's just lazy IDing. Okay, let's have Captain America get stuck
Is
behind
that
his
a
shield
He-Man
while he's
tie-in?
yeah, it could be.
No, it says Revelations on the top. It looks like the same font
Oh,
to the new He-Man
oh,
Revelations.
yeah.
That would be cool. I would read that. You bring He-Man into either DC or Marvel again.
Let's just
I'd
say
be all over.
who has the Masters of the Universe trademark now, or
I
their
think Dark
license now?
Horse is the one that was putting out
Still?
that 4-issue miniseries,
Yeah,
but
I
I didn't.
know.
I didn't buy any of them. I have big claps. I put my name on the waiting list as soon as Ross announced it. Because he's had that image. He's had that
Yes,
image done for a long
yes.
time, but you have to like spend big boy bucks to own it. So what he did was I don't obviously you reach out to Alex. He doesn't come pining for you for covers. He's doing work nonstop. But he got a cover for the Masters of the Universe Revelations miniseries. So he took that epic large format image and made a wraparound out of it. And I put my name on the waiting list immediately. And not only did I score a copy, I got in there quick enough to score a signed copy. So mine's coming in with the master signature written right across it. So I'm very excited.
He doesn't charge an arm and a leg to tag that book either when it's coming from his own website, right?
No, if you shop off his website,
Yeah.
like if you can go get a standard book, like because he does standard, but when I say standard book, I mean like a regular book of his off the shelf, like standard Alex Ross book right there.
Yeah.
If you were to buy that months from now down the road with his signature, it'd be like $40 probably.
Yep.
Which is cheaper than going to a lot of signature things, but like he's also funding a website with this stuff. And there's cheaper ones on there, obviously, but it also depends on the book. Normally just standard books like that range from like $25 to $50 for the SIG. And I don't know what differentiates the books. It might be their condition or something, the grade of the book. But and I can tell you this, the LCS that I have in my shop, not where I have my pool, but the other one, Top Dog Comics, he does CBCS submissions, and I asked him if he's ever pulled anything above a 9.8, and he said the only thing that he submitted to CBCS in his existence, because he won't do CGC on a personal reasons, but the only thing he's ever seen over a 9.8 that he submitted was a book that came from the Alex Ross website, because everything that comes from that website is pristine. And I've ordered stuff from him before. I've got signed books from his website with the Immortal Hulk San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and I got those. I sent those in, and they asked me if I wanted to clean and press. I said no when my books came back, because I have CBCS through that shop. It's just really easy. I only pretty much use a signature series service at this point. But when I went, I grabbed my books that he had in the bag. He said, "You're not going to check the grades?" I'm like, "No, man. I'm going home. I'm sure they're 9.8. So they're Alex Ross signed books. There's no reason that these brand new books shouldn't be 9 point." And sure enough, they were. And then that is just he's the man, dude. Top notch.
He is. He's the master. Let's be honest.
I do too, War Machine.
But yeah, the Sinister War.
I haven't read that yet. I'm definitely going to read it.
We'll get into it. Chip Zdarsky's Last Ride.
Oh, big claps. Big claps. I did read that one.
Probably, I think you're probably going to agree with me, but the weakest issue so far of Spider Shadow.
Yeah, that was garbage.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's garbage.
I did though.
Yeah, I thought it was okay to good.
There was nothing wrong
but
with
the other issues were terrific.
Now that he doesn't have the symbiote killing people, it's just a regular old book again.
There's more than that. We'll get into it. And Skybound X2.
Fantastic.
I really wish The Walking Dead. I really wish it was at least like 15 pages. It's so fun. This is such a fun read.
That's all I read out of it was the.
Yeah, me
Rick
too. It was just the Rick.
It was so good. So
And I wish I did read this book, but I really don't know what's going on.
I've got the first one. E-Man AOK'd me one of his ambassador copies, but I haven't read it yet.
He was kind enough to say that he was going to do the same thing for me, and I actually gave him my American address. And I picked up issue 1.
Good job, Chris. Now everyone's going to think you're War Machine Punisher. So he has a U.S. address.
I do have a U.S. address. And so I picked up this, and the first couple of pages were pretty horrific, but it was an out there kind of story, like pretty out there.
Shock value alone can't keep me.
Right. And this went way beyond, the Twilight Zone. and I don't think I'm getting issue 3. It's just too bizarre. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And those that do get it, God bless you. I don't get it. I
And
don't
those
get
that
it.
do get it, go see a shrink.
I
'Cause this
don't get
book
it
is
how I
crazy.
don't get how the young girl who has her teeth hammered out with a screwdriver and a hammer by her father years later is somehow dating the guy that was a part of the whole torture scene down in the caves below. I don't get it. I just don't. Aftershock is doing a lot of good things. Bunny Mask is just not for me anymore. I gave it a go. I gave it a go. I gave it a go.
What's the syndrome where
Big
you
mistake.
like start agreeing with your captors?
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
But yeah, that's just weird syndrome. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bunny
I
Mask.
didn't.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to remember what all I read. Man, I read the Superman annual today early this morning. It was cool.
Well, my question is, the book that I wasn't able to get was actually Mark's hot pick from from last Sunday, and that was Beyond the Breach.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet.
Also from Aftershock, and Mark didn't read it, so
Well, I'm not.
sorry,
I didn't.
man.
I mentioned it. I mentioned it in the video last week that I wasn't going to be picking up a cover A. That I ordered the exclusive
Yeah.
through rkfacomics.com, which is the guy who owns that online shop is one of the 4 C-list villains. It's Luke from the C-list villains podcast, and all those guys are fantastic. And E-Man's
Great
a big
dudes.
part of the E-Man from the podcast is also a huge part of the comic book community here on YouTube. So when they announced that they had a cover, I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer. And then I saw the cover, and they got this artist named Rudy Ao, A-O is how you spell it, to do the cover. And I'm not familiar with his work, but I went and looked at his Instagram because they suggested it. And it is, dude, he is fantastic.
Yeah, top notch. Very talented.
Notch. Yeah, so the cover that they had them do, like, I listened to their episode when they were talking about it and everything. It was very specific how they wanted it done, and he just knocked out the park. And it's a great cover. And I read the preview tease in Out of Body issue 2 for Beyond the Breach.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. It looks wicked. So I'm excited for it, and it's one that hopefully you'll get a chance to read about the same time I do, and Ryan as well, and we can all kind of break down and issue 1 from an indie publisher together because that's kind of his thing. Tyler said issue 3 might be the finale of Bunny Mask. So are you in for the finale, or are you out? That just made it tougher, didn't it?
Yeah, if my LCS is willing to give it to me at cost, maybe.
For free.
It's so bizarre, Mark. It's so bizarre, and I think bizarre is the perfect word to describe it. I know Tyler may have read it too, and I'm pretty sure he would probably agree. Like, it's bizarre.
All right, here's one that I want to hit real quick because I know you said that you're not pulling it anymore. It's Joker. Issue number 5 came out. I pulled up a list of everything that came out this week and that I was reading digitally while I was here, and that one was still
the first night in Arkham.
Yeah, so it was really cool. It's kind of just a step away to. It starts out with pretty much right after, you don't see it happen, but Joker got arrested for his first outing. His first crime attempt on Gotham, and he gets put in Arkham, and it was pretty cool because Jim freaks out automatically because he's like, this guy can't be held normally. He needs to be in jail. If he goes to Arkham, he'll just get out. Blah blah blah, and you kind of just see how real quick with the Joker's presence, it just starts dissolving Jim's relationships with everything else other than with trying to clean Gotham up. He's just not used to this caliber of criminal like the Joker is, and it just completely consumes him from the very beginning. And as far as this issue being tied into the main series, how Vengeance is coming for Joker, the Court of Owls is coming for Joker, that family of cannibals is coming for Joker. We find out that one of the family cannibals is actually an inmate at Arkham. When you get there, he's the only inmate in the secure wing. The rest of it is made for patients. His wing is made for dangerous people, and his family actually funded the whole thing to get the wing built and everything. So you have that little tie into these characters that showed up earlier. But long story short, Joker pretty much just walks in and out of his room whenever he wants in this book, and Jim is sacrificing his anniversary with his wife to stay present to try to keep him in his room, and even slips up. And when Joker smarts off at him, Jim says something along the lines of like, "Oh yeah, I'd much rather be here than at home spending the evening with my kids." And Joker's like, "Oh, you have children? I love children. What are their names?" Like, so you see where Jim wasn't like as cautious as he's trying to be in this book
Right.
around this new villain. He still doesn't even understand how dangerous this villain is. So knowing how the future with Jim's kids go with the Joker, it was just one of those moments you're like, when as soon as he said it, before Joker even responds, you're just like, "Oh my God,
The Killing
no,
Joke.
no, 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 no." It
Wow.
was a really good issue. The artwork was different than normal. It was more simplistic, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a fantastic read. Let's see, what are some other ones that I picked up that you didn't mention? Oh no! Seven Secrets was fantastic. We kind of hit the ball running or hit the ground running now after the big events that have happened with the assault that started in issue 6, and then just on the run from the Seekers, and they're kind of restructuring their order that's just in shambles and not even properly established. They've got their game plan together and they're spreading out and moving forward. So it was a big issue. Heavily enjoyed it. Like you mentioned, I got Skybound X. Well, I just read the Rick Grimes story out of it.
Hmm.
Spider Shadow, man, it was just left me wanting as well. I was like, why does this exist? Mighty Morphin #9 was fantastic. Let's see. Ninjak is another one. Issue #1 for Ninjak came out. I ordered the exclusive from John Jang from Frankie's Comics for that one.
I thought Ninjak was like a Lego property, but anyways.
That's Ninjago, isn't it?
Okay. Okay.
Beyond the Breach waiting on my exclusive as well. The Sumerian had a new issue #1 come out because all those Sumerians from Ablaze are normally just 3-issue story arcs,
Yes.
but they've all been really fun. The Flash annual came out. Oh my God, was it good? That's definitely my read of the week. It's been so long since last Tuesday. I read that one Tuesday, but Justice League Last Ride was fantastic. I've got Future State Gotham, but I don't want it. Rorschach #10 was fantastic. Infinite Frontier was fantastic. I've got to read Batman the Detective and Detective Comics still, but Action Comics annual was fantastic. And I think that's it. Just Legends of the Dark Knight came out, but I've been reading that digitally because that Batman Legends of the Dark Knight series is a bunch of mini stories that come out digital first. I didn't realize this till last week.
Okay.
But every issue is like 3 mini stories that premiere digital first, and then they get put into one issue of a comic. So where issue 3 of the comic just came out, like it's on issue 15 digital because it's little mini stories that all just get. Yeah, so I'm actually way ahead in that. I've kind of read ahead on that one, but it's not bad. It's not good. It's just if you really love Batman, it's just fun Batman. I'm trying to read till I get to the point where it's past the Derek Robertson, because it got solicited as the first 3 issues are written and illustrated by Derek Robertson. But yeah, boom. Austin LeMay said he picked up blank covers for Ninjak and Skybound X. So that's Skybound X, man. That's limitless right there with as many properties.
A lot of fun.
A lot of properties involved with that.
Invincible.
I'm excited to see what you do with those.
Mm-hmm.
You could take advantage of that Murder Falcon making a very brief comeback because that was only 7 issues that ever existed of that.
We can have Austin's take on Invincible's dad just doing.
Yeah.
What do you think? I can't 20 more years? Yeah.
Yeah. Austin just draw Omni-Man walking his wife on a leash.
Or like just combing his mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was really good this week. I've kind of been really harsh on it. The Booms, all of Mighty Morphin and both Power Rangers, 2 separate titles for those that don't read it. They took Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and separated it into 2 titles. where Mighty Morphin focuses on more of the original team, and Power Rangers focuses on the first graduates from the team that went off to do other things in the TV show. They retconned the books for them to have gone out into space to be kind of different Rangers in a different place. But uh, I've been enjoying Mighty Morphin more overall, and this issue was fantastic. It had all the nostalgic feel that you expect. They fight just like the little villain, but what they did differently in this is they pushed the needle way far forward with the story. Like they're really starting to hit the ground running, and they're kind of bringing in Zordon's race. He's an Eltarian. He's not just naturally a floating head in a jar. He's actually a person from a planet who, by way of fate and poor circumstance, ended up where he is, kind of stuck between time. And this is just the only way that he can exist on our plane. But yeah, it was really good. So one of his old buddies from back in the day have showed up, who's now like the big boss of his planet, and we have information from the other book that he's actually working with the bad guys and actually kind of shot calling for the bad guys that are almost like heralds and Galactuses in one. Like when you see them coming, your planet's doomed, and when they show up, they doom your planet, they destroy it. But they're calling it a reset. So I don't know. There's a lot going on, and this book really had a ton of information, and I really enjoyed it. But it still was lighthearted where it needed to be. You actually saw them in class at a school desk, talking to their teacher that you saw from the old TV show, making jokes and quips. And there's this new Green Ranger. I mean, you don't read it, but you're familiar with how there's a new Green Ranger that's wasn't in the TV show stuff. It's new to Boom Comics, and he's known, like, he's done work for Zordon. He works for a think tank, a research company that created him. So he's actually out and open to the public. So they show up and they try to do stuff in public, and people are, however, toward them. And then this Green Ranger shows up and can just take his helmet off and relate to everyone there. And, he gets the fanfare and the well responses and everything. So we're getting to see that different dynamic where the Rangers have missed from not being able to do that. It's just, that's like part of like their only rule is to never reveal their identities to anybody for any reason. They've played with that pretty good in this run. Austin can make a mean Mr. Peanut Loki, like for real. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I saw that on the art with the professors. This is actually technically day 3 of vacation, but the first day was good. We took a how many hour trip, and we doubled it just because we just did not care. We were just vacation brained. Hey, there you are. And I don't know if you missed it, E-Man, but we have plugged your book because this is the week that Beyond the Breach dropped.
Yep.
Chris's store didn't have it, and I didn't pick up an A cover. I'm waiting on my books to ship from RKFA Comics. Not good enough for a stick figure contest, bullcrap. What's going on, Thomas? How are you doing? What's going on, aggressively relaxing? Well, he's here. He's a Spider-Man reader, and like I said, I was able to read Spider Shadow, and it wasn't bad. It was just definitely a different shift now that Peter doesn't have the symbiote. But so let's hit that, and then I would love to hear your take on the Sinister War, because I'm going to be reading that tonight for sure. I do, like I told you before, I do want to check it out. It sounds fun, and I'm still itching for Spider-Man, dude. I'm itching to be on a monthly Spider-Man book, so something's better than that.
I picked up the cool wraparound cover where it's basically all the rogues gallery attacking Peter. So
Hit it again. I hadn't even seen that. Been to an LCS since Wednesday books drop.
So we do. There's Taskmaster is here too, but yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, there's it's busy, but it's cool.
Wraparounds are supposed to be, man.
Yeah, it's it's not great, but it's very good for Spencer. I'll be honest. There's a lot of things that Nick Spencer's kind of left. Like he's left a lot of loose threads, especially in the last 10 issues of ASM, and they kind of start to come together here for the Sinister War. And the plot's pretty basic right off the beginning. It kind of reads like an 80s comic.
Nice.
MJ and Peter are at a movie premiere that MJ is in, and there's a director the director of the movie shows up, and he kind of tugs on MJ, and they're getting ready for their big pictures, and the director kind of whispers to Peter, or pardon me, to MJ, "Does Peter know about me?"
What?
And MJ's response is, "Shh, no." And right away, Peter's like, "Wait, what's going on?" And it turns out the director is Mysterio attempting to change his life. So the director
Oh, I thought you were going to
is
say the
no,
director
they're
was.
not. No,
This
no,
was a total
no, no,
Kristen
no, no.
Stewart situation, huh?
Ooh, look at you. But no, the whole beginning of the Sinister War is the fact that Mysterio is the director of this movie that MJ stars in, and he has some of the original members of the Sinister Six on set performing as themselves in this movie, and the Vulture doesn't like how he's treated on set and hates how he's depicted in the movie after all, and then decides to crash the movie premiere inside the theater. Did they find you, Mark?
Not yet. I'm checking.
Okay. And so the Vulture shows up to the premiere and, you know, uh, just basically drops in on the theater, attacks everyone showing up with his new Sinister Six that he's calling the Savage Six, highlighted with one of my all-time favorite
Craven.
villains, the Tarantula.
Oh,
And
wow. That's cool.
yeah, and Scorpion's there, a part of his team, and Rhino's a part of his team, and a couple other D-list characters. Either way, Peter sees what's going on, and it's during this battle where MJ tells Peter the truth about who the director really is, and Peter starts losing his mind. Like, what? You've been working with who? Like, have you no idea what he's done to me in my life? And anyways, with all that said and done, Peter starts to switch into his Spider-Man suit to start to try to help these people, and the Vulture goes towards Mysterio and starts to threaten him, and then Mysterio goes into his own normal suit and starts to fight back, and all this is happening, and then all of a sudden, for the first time in a very long time, we had a tentacle start to show up to split up the Vulture and Mysterio, and we have Doctor Octopus back in his own body, back with his own tentacles, back in full force, bringing the original Sinister Six with him, including my personal favorite villain of all. Now you can say it,
Craven.
Kraven the Hunter, and it just goes from there. So we have 12 villains fighting each other with Spider-Man in the middle, and Dr. Octopus is the only one that seems to be focused on Peter, attacking Peter, whereas everyone else is kind of interested. Yep, everyone else is interested. What's that?
What's the deal with the prelude with Mephisto and Doctor Strange?
So that's the tail end where basically we get more Kindred crap. That's the part where they lost me, because I have not enjoyed Nick Spencer dealing with Kindred. And
Bro, I like the artwork in here.
it's okay. It's not as good as
It's comic booky.
yeah, like I said, it really has that 80s kind of feel to it. Anyways, Peter ends up getting
The artist really nailed cockeye Mary Jane. Look at that.
yeah,
She's
again,
got a
Bagley
wanderer. She's got a wanderer.
yeah. Bagley's not as good as what he used to be.
Oh, this is
And
Bagley? So
yeah,
this is like some Ultimate Spider. That's why it looks familiar. It looks very comic booky.
and
Dude, he's nailing the villains though, man. They look great.
yeah, at the tail end of the story, Mysterio decides that he's had enough of this battle and he's going to vanish, and he grabs MJ as collateral, and he vanishes with MJ. And as this is happening, Peter is starting to freak out, and then gets a mean right hook from Dr. Octopus's tentacle and is knocked out. And when he comes to, Kindred is waiting for him, and he's throwing Peter around some castle. Mysteriously, he's shown up in a castle, and he's seeing images of his life, and he's seeing images of MJ with Mysterio working out a deal, and seeing the dead Norman Osborn. And just as this happens, basically the rest of the Rogues Gallery that takes up ASM over the last 25 years shows up in a big spread shot, and they're all coming in at Peter, highlighted by Chance and the Human Fly, Taskmaster is
wow.
there. Yeah, there's Jack o' Lanterns. There's a few like it's
Hydro
decent,
Man.
right? And then the tail end of it somehow it just takes a quick right turn. Alan Spencer doing his infamous right turns where Doctor Strange is talking to Mephisto, saying you have to let him go. And basically what Mephisto was referring to, or Doctor Strange is saying, you have to let go of MJ and Peter. It's a part of that story arc that Dan Slott wrote in the 2010s or whatever, the One Last Day, and where Mephisto takes away their love or whatever, and that I want to use the R word, that whole silly storyline.
It's all about Superior Spidey's return to me. Now, wasn't Superior Spider-Man Doc Ock's consciousness in Peter Parker's body?
Right.
So are they bringing Doc Ock's consciousness back to Peter's body, Louis?
Doc Ock's got his own consciousness back in his own body.
I know that's been a while back, but Louis saying that Superior Spider's returning. You had to read the MJ series.
Okay. And in the end, Mephisto challenges to Doctor Strange, well, if you really want this to end, I'm into games of chance. Let's have you perform a game of chance. And that's where it ends, where basically Doctor Strange and Mephisto are, having a spin at a game of roulette. But yeah, it's just a lot of punches thrown. It's a lot of Nick Spencer flexing all the villains that he knows about, and then again with an unnecessary dash of Kindred. But Mephisto's here, so yeah, I'll be picking up Sinister War 2 to see where it goes. Hopefully Dr. Octopus has a little bit more than just 3 pages worth of work, and Crave the Hunter actually gets to speak in the next one. But it's actually better than what ASM has been lately.
It looked like a decent rollout. I just flipped through it. Dude, I got to tell you, man, I do love the art. Like, it's
you do like the Bagley stuff?
Yeah, man. Even though it's a little bit, like, I guess just because, like, like, look at that. Like, I love how that looks. It's not like ultra realistic. It's not gritty. It pops. It's a little rounded and whatnot.
It's kind of like the work that was being pumped out just before McFarlane took over in the 80s, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Except that it's just bright and modern, but it's that same flavor.
Like, I wouldn't like sit here and tell anyone, go check this out. This is amazing. I think it hits me more on a nostalgic level. Like when I read a lot of stuff with Romita's kind of mail-in style stuff, it doesn't bother me. Like, I still enjoy it because I'm familiar with Romita's work enough to know that, like, he can do a lot better than this, and this is just him turning in stuff. I enjoy his style. I wouldn't compare this to Romita at all. You can't really compare anybody to Romita Jr. He's got such his own style. But go back and read, like, World War Hulk, man. It's just amazing through and through. Like, come on.
Yeah. The three best parts are definitely when the Savage Six shows up, the Sinister Six shows up, and Peter's freaking out because he's finding out that it was Mysterio all along, and the splash page for when the rest of the Rogues Gallery shows up.
Doc Ock was separated and then had a great short run as California's Spider-Man until a horrible last issue where he decided to be Doc Ock again. It was pretty lame return to status quo. Yeah, that sounds like a hard slam on brakes. That's what I complained with about the Joker War, like where they were going all in on this mega story, and I was telling everyone, like, dude, this is great, but just Batman 100 is not going to be a pay-per-view book. It's just going to be over with, but I will give it credit. It did fracture Gotham to a level of where it stayed fractured till right now, but we've seen that before with stories like No Man's Land and stuff where, I mean, that went on forever. Like, Gotham just in shambles from that earthquake, and just like the inmates were running the asylum. That's how Gotham is now. It just feels like No Man's Land all over again, where it's just so far from the status quo, what you expect Gotham to look and feel like. But let's see what Louis got for us. Doc Ock is working with Kindred to remember his time as Superior. Okay, awesome.
Hmm.
So maybe we'll get that era. I know Louis talks a lot here lately about how much he's enjoyed that Superior Spider-Man run, and my buddy Brent, he loved it as well. And I didn't read it, but I do. I was familiar enough with it that when I read Life Story, I was able to see where they did the little deviation from it and used Miles instead of Peter and everything. And that was really cool. That was really cool. Let's see, is that whole Loki series is taken from Leviathan Dua Lipa's song? I'm not familiar. Not familiar.
I'm not familiar with it. I know Leviathan the film,
Mm-hmm. That
but
was a pretty cool movie.
but
Very cool movie. Treat Williams.
the Spider Shadow. I know that you and I have both enjoyed the story so far. I know that
Oh yeah,
I know that you've been panning Pascal Ferry's artwork hardcore, and
it
that's
was
not
clean
something.
in this issue though, wasn't it?
Yes. The one thing is I can't argue counterpoint anything that you're saying about Ferry's artwork. However, in this one, it just seems to have a much brighter tone. And
Yeah,
I don't know if they're
daytime
trying to, yeah, I don't
outside.
know if they're trying to paint that picture where, okay, it's Peter in control, even though he's in a lot of pain, missing the symbiote, and he's also in a whole lot of agony for the fact that he's become a murderer. And I know that you mentioned that you didn't like it, but it's first couple pages, the part that I enjoyed the most was MJ making Peter realize who he was, because it seems he's forgotten who he was, and he's kind of like what he normally does. He gets stuck in the now, and he needs either MJ or Aunt May to make him realize who he really is, and that he's basically the young man that was raised by May and Ben. And MJ points that out, and of course they had their kissy face moment or whatever. And then
What's the
I don't
artist's
want to
name?
Pascal Ferry.
I do got to give him props because not everybody can take a Crayola crayon and draw on a beard so well. Like, look at that!
I
Isn't
don't
that
know, man.
fantastic?
I
Like,
kind of
and
got that
it's
going
bad
on
because
here.
it's on like a small page that you look at it, like, God, that's horrible.
My sarcasm detector is starting to explode. But anyways, there are quiet references that I did
Look at
enjoy in
that.
this. We have the '90s Iron Man, where it's the bright red and the silver
That
suit.
was the 80s Iron Man with the Silver Centurion suit, and that has by
Right.
far always been my favorite Iron Man suit.
With the sharp shoulders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silver
And
Centurion.
I like the fact that they're still playing into that timeline, even though it does seem to have a little bit of a different take on what Todd was doing at that point with the symbiotes. But
This is all like right after the Secret Wars, isn't it? How long did he rock it? Well, up until 300, really, wasn't
he
it?
lost it. He took it off in 299. Officially, the church bell rang and he lost it in 299. He almost had it off in 298, but it was 299 where he lost it, and then the symbiote fell to the pews of the church where Eddie Brock was waiting. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know why I've always loved that Iron Man costume. It's sweet. My wife even knows that when she went on a girls trip, and it's been a while, and I forgot about this till today because she was talking about that girls trip that she went on, and she found a little antique store and saw some Iron Man comics where he was wearing that suit, and it happened to be the first issue of Armor Wars, which is
mm-hmm.
now like a spec book, and
Yeah,
another one was actually the first appearance of the Ghost.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, cool. She came on with two comics for dirt cheap that were both keys. Like, sweet. And she got them just because she saw that Iron Man suit. She's like, oh, this is the one Mark likes.
Right. Uh, well, in the story that we see that the Baxter building itself is actually being engulfed in the symbiote, and the Avengers have shown up, and basically Iron Man and Cap are kind of checking Peter, just letting them know,
Yeah,
hey, what's
big
up?
time.
We know that you're a murderer now, and whatever. And then Pete pulls his mask off to give him the eye to eye to Captain America, rocking the scruff, and says basically, it's me, and I know what I've done, but I am my own man, and I'm gonna make this right. So Cap decides to let him have it, but But Johnny Storm is not interested in having Peter help him at all whatsoever. He's blaming Peter, saying that
Should have burned you to
that
begin with.
yeah, we should have let you have it in the beginning. When Reed was right in the beginning, Reed should have done it. Yeah. And so it kind of goes from there where Peter decides to go into the Baxter building to make it right. Yeah, we all
that
can. Let's be honest.
that moment where he decided to take his mask off to get real with Cap, so Cap knows he's serious, to tell him, it'll never take hold of me again, Cap. I'm like, dude, this is such a movie moment, because all you're trying to do is take the mask off so that you can like show the actor's face. Like,
And the thing is,
they know who he is.
Cap is a big man. Like, I don't understand why do they have Pete and Cap at the same height here? Like,
this
Cap
is what happens when you don't have Rob Liefeld drawing Captain America. He gets undersized.
Well, in the end, it's what if Spider Shadow is the same height as Captain America? But anyways, yeah, Pete goes into the Baxter building. That's, like I said, it's engulfed. I don't know if a better word to say. It's engulfed in symbiote, and MJ comes chasing him in with a 15-shot, like Beretta. I don't know what she thinks she's gonna do. Anyways,
where did she even get it? Is that the one she took off the guard
could
right
be
inside the door?
Yeah, but yeah, in the end, the Human Torch comes blazing in right after him. Thank God. And the thing is, the Human Torch can fly, so both Pete and the Human Torch decide to get up to where Reed Richards is via the elevator shaft. So Spider-Man has to climb up the yeah.
If you zoom out, Pete's on his tippy toes.
Oh, is he? I didn't even know. Oh.
That makes perfect sense. It was cool, like how Johnny's like the whole attitude. They nailed Johnny in this, just that hot-headedness, and how he just went blazing in, pun intended. But they definitely nailed him, just kind of pushing the envelope, even to the point where like him fighting Ben even reverberates and hits Pete in the elevator, which that was actually pretty poor panel work. It took me a couple of times to go back and look at that
and see what actually happened. And who actually did what. Yeah,
like why did Parker just come out of the elevator shaft without his clothes on all of a sudden?
Right. But a
little backdraft from his fight with the Thing.
Right. So yeah, the Human Torch gets to the Thing first, who's now become a symbiote. And we found that out in the tail end of the last issue, that both him and Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, have been taken over by the symbiotes. And anyways, the Thing just throws them through the elevator shaft that Human Torch and Peter are coming up. And it looks like Pete gets burned half to death. And as he's starting to crawl out of the elevator shaft, the Thing grabs him by the head and treats him how the Hulk treated Loki in the first Avengers movie. Just crunches him forward. And somehow Pete gets up and
stops pulling punches.
Yeah, because
there's
no bigger Spider-Man fan than me, but Pete can't handle Ben Grimm. It's not going to happen.
Not in the fist fight.
There's no chance.
Not in a swinging fist.
Even with this version of Ben, where Ben's gone all evil. And again, I'm a big FF fan too. But yeah, Pete smacks him around, gives him so many lefts, he's begging for a right, and then in the end, the Thing just
backhands him.
Yeah, the Thing just gives him a quick left, and it's all over for Pete at that point.
So then he has to divert and just like throw him outside and let the people outside handle it. Where you have, which was cool because you have X Factor in the time era. Yeah, you have X Factor in the time era. Like, this is, again, like, I just love this era in comics, man. Their costumes are fantastic. Where they're all just wearing the onesies with the X on them,
right? And the full headgear too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just like my favorite Cyclops costume by far.
Yep. Right.
I don't know why. Big Cyclops fan when it comes to the X-Men. Between Gambit and him, they're awesome. But their Cyclops and Jean and their X Factor costumes, when they went back and pulled the original X-Men team to give them their own book and gave them those awesome matching costumes. Yeah. So he just throws Ben out, lets them deal with them. But you remember when Cyclops, like, they all had the yellow X's, but they didn't keep him for long. They Cyclops ended up with the white X, which
Right. It's like issue 6 or 7, just
yeah,
after Apocalypse.
that's my end all be all for Cyclops' costume. The blue and yellow is awesome. When you got the white, I don't know what it is. Like
Yeah,
the
it
figure
stands
for
out.
it and everything. I still have my action figure from back in the day with a little lever on his back. You push and his eyes light up. But I painted him up to look like Dr. Solar from from
Yeah.
Gold Key. Yeah, loved it. Dr. Solar is awesome.
But the cool thing about this moment where the Avengers and X Factor are waiting on the ground, and Ben Grimm gets tossed to the ground by Spider-Man, and Ben looks up, and there's the She-Hulk. It's essentially just like 7 or 8 issues later that Ben leaves the Fantastic Four, and
She
She-Hulk
joins the
joins.
team. Yeah.
She joins the team. So I thought it was cool that they had a little bit of foreshadowing with that whole thing happening right there.
Now that page with X Factor, when you look at it, are there all white panels on your in your book? Because I read mine digitally because
Uh,
I'm not home.
no, are you talking about their costumes?
No, the
Okay,
panels on
so
the
there's
page.
two. Yeah, there's literally 2 white panels. Top right corner is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sliver, and the bottom left is all white as well.
So I noticed that when I was reading this, like they're
Yeah,
wasting a lot of real estate here. Like
yeah.
there's, yeah, it's off there.
It
So
could.
you
It
have like
literally.
that white
They
panel
literally.
there.
Yeah, they literally could have had Ben's impact on the ground, and
Yeah.
then go up to the top where he's kind of like lifting himself back up, and
So
then
the
the next.
layouts in this were really poor. Like
Yeah,
I don't know
like
why what the deal with this issue was. And I was thinking back, I wonder if the previous issues were like that because I noticed it when I was scrolling through. I'm like, why am I seeing so many
the.
white panels? And because I'm on a vertical format, like I'm getting like
Yeah,
white boxes on white boxes and stuff. It was kind of odd.
the. I remember the reading the scenes of the Sinister Six showing up at the farm in the last issue was kind of in different places from how I thought it was supposed to go, especially when Eddie was as Doc Ock and that whole scene there where Peter was actually up in the trees. That whole thing seemed like it was
Way.
weird like a weird layout. Either way,
We need to address this. If you're referring to the fight with the Hulk where he fought the immortal Hulk when he was depowered, that was actually pathetic on Ben's part because the Hulk didn't even attempt to fight him. I don't know if that's the Hulk fight you're referring to back probably about 5 issues ago. It was around Christmas time when the Hulk was literally just a bag of bones walking around with no power whatsoever. And the thing just got a report that the Hulk was somewhere, and he went there and he just started hitting him. And the Hulk's like, "Dude, stop, stop!" He just kept hitting him. It was like it had to be stopped. But yeah, the in all sincerity, if you want to try to put the thing up against the Hulk, you're just gonna get rubble. Like the Immortal Hulk, dude,
eventually, eventually,
he's
come
decking
on.
Thor in one hit. Right now, like, dude, the Immortal Hulk is dropping Thor with one blow. Like the Godfather Thor, like the Father of Gods, like dropping him. Like this is some wicked Hulk we have right now. And that was he broke Thor's jaw with one hit back in the beginning of Immortal Hulk. And then
Sure.
now when now that you have him where he was reincarnated through the red door, you have him like full power, but with like the Red Hulk power surging through him, so he's able to absorb gamma energy as well. And Thor wouldn't leave him alone, and he wasn't fighting back. And then he's like, "All right, fine." And then Thor just goes flying, and like, we're not even going to deal with this. We're out of here. So they've got Hulk on this insane par right now. Like this is probably the strongest that I've seen the Hulk since like World Breaker Hulk. You know, where that was next level. That's not like every day he can pull off those feats. You know, he lost happiness for like the first time. You know, but I think that after issue 50, we're going to see him brought back down a peg or two, which he definitely should be. You know, he needs to have things do need to be a problem for him, you know. But I think with the finale of Immortal Hulk, he's going to get toned down a little bit before Donny Cates run on him, which I'm already hearing people who've never cared two craps for Hulk talking about. I'll be reading that. I'm like, mixed feelings, mixed feelings. I'm glad I have more people to talk about it too, but I just hope that people don't praise lackluster stories, no matter who's writing it, because I don't want that to become the status quo. This Al Ewing run has been exceptional, exceptional. I'm sorry, rabbit trail.
So to finish Spider Shadow, Pete wakes up from getting smacked around by Ben, and he's basically at the feet of Mr. Fantastic, who's been basically fully engulfed in the symbiote, and the symbiote is speaking as itself, basically saying that it now has one of the most intelligent minds and one of the greatest minds going, and it realizes its own weaknesses, and the Human Torch thinks that it's already outsmarted the symbiote. It's just going to blast it with heat. But what the character we're showing is he's actually wearing a suit that looks like something from outer space, but it's actually something that can handle heat. So the symbiote, with the mind of Reed Richards, realizes its own weaknesses and protects itself from Johnny. And Pete is just getting smacked around, or seems to be just, in the room, just not doing much. Let's be honest, right? Like, Pete's not doing much here. And when the Human Torch lets loose on Mr. Fantastic, there's a big explosion at the top of the Baxter building, and symbiote spawn just seems to fly everywhere. And the Avengers and X Factor are down at the street level, with Ben still being on his rear end, looking at what's happening. And we switch back inside to the room where basically the symbiote lets the Human Torch know that there's no way he's going to win, and then suddenly Mr. Fantastic gets shot in the back, and it's MJ, and MJ basically just says that's enough, and then Peter realizes, like, oh no, you're in a whole lot of trouble. You're not supposed to be here. And then the story flashes to both X Factor and the Avengers now being swallowed up and becoming symbiotes themselves. So that's how it ends with issue 5. I'm presuming now the Fantastic Four, or one half of the Fantastic Four, all of X Factor, all of the Avengers, including Cap, seem to be engulfed in the symbiotes. Just looking at this picture, I don't see Thor
Who's the guy in the back? Who's the guy in the back right with the blue? I mean, the blue cape and the red costume, with the little energy bubble around him.
I'm not sure who that is.
You want to show that picture of that weird half-bald man with the mustache?
I'm not sure who that character is.
Anybody in the chat,
right here.
You know who
I'm
this
not sure who that character is.
This cul-de-sac rocking blue caped warrior is.
Like, I can tell you everyone who else is in here. It's that dude, then She-Hulk, Cap, Iron Man, Angel, Iceman, but like I said, we don't see Thor
Larry from
done
the Three Stooges back there.
Yeah, it could, or I don't know if that's supposed to be Mr. Furley or what, man. Like,
oh my gosh, who is that?
Yeah. Like Marvel's Merlin the Magician. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a Sorcerer Supreme or what, but I'm kind of thinking that the only way they're going to get out of this is with sound. Fire's not going to work, especially with Mr. Fantastic being the primary host of the symbiote. The only way they're going to be able to get out of this is with sound, and I kind of think Thor might be able to help that way. So, who knows? But I kind of agree with Mark. It's probably the weakest so far, but that's only because we've had such a different Spider-Man for the first 3 issues, just going around snapping necks and taking lives and not giving a damn. But it's still the best limited series Marvel's putting out right now, because I know Mark is going to argue the Immortal Hulk.
No, let me correct aggressively relaxing. He did not knock out the Immortal Hulk. The Puppet Master was steering the Immortal Hulk in some kind of weird. I just pulled up the book to read what kind of malarkey was being talked about here. Because the Immortal Hulk is not taking an L against Ben Grimm. So you have the Puppet Master steering the Immortal Hulk. Because I'm wondering why he's mindlessly just shows up to Ben's little retreat wanting to fight the Thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I started reading some of the dialogue, and he's like, fight me, Ben. I'm going to kill you. Like, that's not the Immortal Hulk is pretty much a poet. You know what I'm saying? He's talking philosophy to you while he's ripping your face off. But so that was a shtick. So you got the puppet master steering him. I was wondering why like none of this appeared in Immortal Hulk. That book has been so blessed to not be watered down by overall continuity. You know, whenever something's going on in other books and other titles, they've stepped away and used the one shots to do it.
It's not over edited. Let's be honest. It's not over edited. They're just kind of giving Al Ewing free will.
Yeah, they're keeping it tight. They're keeping it real tight. You know, but
I really like the Black Panther part of it though. When Black Panther shows up in the last couple issues. Yeah. Yes, the Black Panther is there at the bar.
It's
outside the bar.
The Druid.
Dr. Druid.
It's John Cena.
It's
Is Black Panther? Is he talking about in this Spider Shadow book? Is Black Panther there?
No. Black Panther was not there. No, I thought he was talking about the Immortal Hulk. Black Panther does show up in the Immortal Hulk.
Lives. He was saving lives because Thor was about to die.
Yeah.
Black Panther was the one really giving it to the Hulk. I mean, he wasn't gaining much ground, but the Hulk wasn't getting his hands on it either, though. You know, T'Challa was getting it in.
The one thing I can say that I really like what Marvel did over the last 20 years is that they took T'Challa and put him at the same intellect level as what, say, Reed Richards is, as one of the most intelligent and smartest men on Earth. I really like the fact that they did that with T'Challa.
I don't know why I'm typing a response. I could have just said it.
Man, you're getting triggered here.
No, I'm not triggered. It's just facts be facts. The Immortal Hulk and the Thing have not had like one of their epic fights. Like I'm not delusional. The Hulk has definitely lost plenty of fights. I'm in Hulk forum groups, you know, that I argue like, dude, Iron Man has knocked the Hulk out with one punch.
He has lost a few.
Yes, he has. Iron Man has literally knocked the Hulk out.
Like, Iron Man, a C-list character.
And dude, and talk about facts be facts. Iron Man was totally a B-list superhero until the MCU brought him up to stardom.
Oh.
Like he was really starting to rise up the ranks, but he was never like you know what I'm saying? Like he was just a man in an iron costume. But when technology caught up with us in the real world, and Iron Man has to kind of stay at the forefront of technology, that really like leveled him up, and it was really cool to see how that kind of evolved in comics. It was really cool. But yeah, the thing has definitely bested the Hulk plenty of times. But I'm just saying, the Immortal Hulk, they did not get there. They have not had that opportunity, and it was unfortunate to see that when the Thing did show up in the book, that Immortal Hulk was at that completely depowered stage. It was really sad. It was almost off character for Ben to be acting like that, to be the way that he was just attacking him, because you're like, dude, Ben would, old Blue Eyes wouldn't do this. You know what I mean? Like it's just he's got a more level head on his shoulders than this.
Ben never throws the first punch. As a reader of the Fantastic Four, Ben never throws the first punch. That's why we get it's clobbering time. It's usually because he's been suckered or dummied or something like that.
Did somebody say C-list? Awesome.
Well done.
But yeah, that looked like a Olivetti cover too, on the cover of that Fantastic Four issue where they were fighting. It looked awesome. Let's see what else came out this week that we would like to touch on.
You want to dedicate some time to those 6 pages? Okay.
Talking about Skybound X. Yeah, Promiscuous Time Traveler was in here. I know he's a big fan of Skybound X. If you want to hit that, dude, that was such a fun read. Admittingly, I didn't read the other stories besides Rick Grimes 2000 because I'm not familiar with the properties, you know, and it's not anything I was necessarily drawn to. But
I am going to check out Stillwater. I'll be honest. When I do have some time, I am going to open up the book and check out Zdarsky's limited series that he has going right now. And so there is a short story for Stillwater in here. And the RG2K, let's just say, like, this
It's so fun.
It's gone so far away from what The Walking Dead is. It's just silly fun.
Dude, it is amazing the
yeah.
violence in it. And this is the
It's
same artist that did Invincible, right?
yes. Yeah.
Dude, it is so violent. When that monster just rips Lori to pieces and then
Yeah.
eats her,
Like
then eats
more
her with
death.
her alive in his mouth. Like that was so wicked.
Right. Well, she did turn her back on her husband. Let's be honest. So, yeah, we got it just starts off kind of with Lori holding a weapon to Rick's head and saying like you need to realize what's really going on here. And Rick's like, we're talking about them wanting water and you guys are helping them out kind of thing. And then we have Mark. Oh, I got to admit that what I thought when I looked at this was the whole changing. I kind of thought boosh.
Boosh? Yeah.
So for those that didn't read it,
Gone too soon. Gone too soon.
there's the governor. The governor has an alien with him, and the alien just seems like a skinny little frog man that's close by, and then all of a sudden he just morphs into something that's just like a kind of like the Abomination. Like that's
Like
when I'm looking,
Korg mixed with Doomsday mixed with the Abomination.
and he's just towering over Rick, and he's letting Rick know like that you have no chance. Just join us or die kind of moment. And Rick decides that no, I'm gonna stand up and fight for myself, and uses his lightsaber, and it kind of goes through the guy through this monster's hand, and he says, "Do you think I can feel this? Like this is nothing." And just to show him how serious he is, he steps on Rick's wife and rips her apart, and then just starts eating
Eats
her.
her. Yeah, it was awesome.
He literally rips her in half.
When I
and
was
is
reading that,
eating
I
Lori
had to send that photo into our chat group.
Yeah.
There was that image with him just sitting there with his big teeth, and it almost looks like he's almost smiling, like he's so happy with himself for the atrocity that he just committed in front of Rick. And you see Lori's head in the side of his mouth just looking out. And you just
there's an eyeball. Yeah.
You just notice that final chomp before she's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Right there. There's that chomp. And if we can get in there closely into the teeth, there's an eyeball right here.
Wicked. It was super wicked.
That's her looking at Rick.
Yeah. Overall, it was just a fight, a gore fest. They just did a little explanation to let us know that all the humans, it doesn't matter what happens to you, they have technology that they can bring you back to life. They can turn you into a mech person, just give you fake parts, or they can monstrously evolve you to be one of the Walking Dead. But the point of it was just to let you know that death is not final, and there's more aspects than one, and that you will succumb to their will because they're better than you. So it left us hanging with a character reveal that came in as blasting everybody, and I forget what the girl's name was.
Andrea
just came in blasting everybody. So Rick is sitting there like cut in half, just chilling, and
ripped in half.
Ripped in half, just chilling. So we got left Rick and right Rick.
Top Rick and bottom Rick.
Top Rick and bottom Rick just chilling. So I'm very excited for the next issue. I'm hoping that they do a lot more of these. But Kyle said that the Stillwater is really cool. Definitely check it out.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
And he also mentioned that he's definitely looking forward to the Murder Falcon one, as am I. I'm a big Daniel Warren Johnson fan. I absolutely loved Murder Falcon. It's up there in my top 2 indie books ever read. Like when it comes to like self-contained stories, like between that and We Live, like you'll hear me talk about those books forever, probably until another one that good comes out, and I'll just add it to the list. But I'm excited to see what they'll do with Murder Falcon after seeing how they handled Ultra Mega, how it's just kind of a little dip into the past a little bit. I'm wondering if they'll do that with Murder Falcon. I don't think there's too much you can add to that story to make it better. You can only revisit it and water it down, in my opinion. It was a flawless story. So I hope they don't do too much with it. Maybe just stay in there's like You read Murder Falcon, didn't you?
No.
So maybe they'll like. It's a crazy concept. You should definitely read it. It's up there with We Live, but I hope that we kind of just get more into like the mystical side of it. Like there's this whole like concept of like Valhalla, the rock heaven, the rock and roll heaven kind of thing, and these mystical instruments that you can fight evil with. Basically, I hope we kind of dabble in that area more than in the human character aspect of it. But I'm definitely excited for it nonetheless.
So was she buying the Stairway to Heaven then?
She might have been. She
Okay.
definitely might have been if she had enough silver coin to do it.
There's a little Jimmy Page for everybody out there. Okay. Last Ride.
Oh man, so fun. Oh my God. I've been
Not
loving
a
this book.
not a fan of the cover. I'll be
Oh
honest, but
man, that cover is. I'd pick that one happily over the B cover, and the B cover was fantastic. I just thought it was
yeah,
a really, really cool set. I don't know what it is with that Derek Robertson artwork. Like I wasn't even like, I mean, I had heard the name, but it wasn't like I could place it with anything. And I was familiar with him doing the boys, but I didn't read the boys or pay any attention to it. But he's like popping up all over the place now. He's doing the cover A's for this. I think is he doing the interiors for it as well?
no, that's Miguel Mendoza.
That's right. But he's doing the
Yeah.
cover A's for this series. He's
Mhm.
doing the interiors and covers for Legends of the Dark Knight. It just seems like he's doing a handful of stuff for DC right now. It's just all over my radar at the moment.
But I thought this was a good slow burn issue. At least the first half was a good slow burn, and in the end, it just shows that Wonder Woman again is the moral compass that the Justice League really is, and that Batman and Superman are not. They're not good, man. They're just
Yeah,
they're
in the
still they're
synopsis,
still not good.
quick synopsis. So the Justice League is taking Lobo back to the ruins of what was Apocalypse to hide him out there
Yep.
because he's wanted for killing the new gods. He's wanted by a lot of people, and the United Planets have even turned on him because they've used his services in the past and do not want that coming to light. So the Justice League is it's about to be them against the universe to try to keep Lobo alive for the time being. But I could feel how tense this was, and the fact that they played with little things like we'll go hide him out in this structure over there, and they asked Batman, "Well, what is it?" He's like, "It's Tassad's summer home, so it'll have something that can hold Lobo." So Tassad's little happy place, being the chief torturer of Apocalypse, I thought that was a smart move. And there was they did some cool stuff in here, like when Wonder Woman snapped at Superman and said, "You're supposed to be the best of us. Start acting like it." I'm like, ooh, that would hit me in the feels. Ooh, that was rough. What's going on, James?
I
Yeah,
like the
there it
fact
is.
that
The synopsis: monster showed up, killed people. The end. That was Rick Grimes in a nutshell.
yep, yep. A lot of it was very messy though.
But I feel like we're starting to be able to time place this book too, because we talked about we're not sure where this book is going to be set in. If this is going to be like the precursor to why the Justice League was disbanded in Future State, this, that, and the other. But we're starting to get some familiar elements from current continuity and getting the United Planets brought in and their formation, because really they're just starting to become a thing in the normal continuity stuff. So we know that this is a little bit farther down the line than where we're currently reading main continuity books on the shelf right now. And seeing Hal Jordan being semi-present, that's a big kicker, because he's not present in anything right now, and we barely got him in just like a one little cliffhanger thing with the Future State stuff. So getting a little bit of hints, and they're playing with the death of John Jones a little bit more. We know that that was a big event that fractured the team. It wasn't shown; it's just been talked about. But
Yep.
Bruce is being haunted by John Jones and his memories, and he tells us in this that
His dreams.
yeah, his dreams. I'm sorry. So he lets us know that he can really control his sleep, and he dreams when he wants to dream, and he controls his subconscious enough that he doesn't have to dream, that he can put himself to sleep in 3 minutes and only needs 2 hours of sleep to be good to go. But John is in his dream. So John is still in his head. And we've seen in other stuff that John Jones physically dying does not always get rid of him. And that I think it was Scott Snyder's Justice League run where Jones his subconscious was hidden away in another But we get a lot of cool little stuff. We find out the planets are coming. We find out that all these other people are coming for Lobo for him killing the new gods. We get a little look on Earth that they're setting up and staging in case anything were to pop off there. And you have the Teen Titans with Dick Grayson, Cyborg, Raven. You got Shazam in the back there. They're
Right.
all on guard on planet Earth. So we're
Yep.
really just waiting for stuff to kick off. This is like the big staging, and they're just
Yep.
watching in all directions. So it was just a really, really tense issue.
It was cool that Zdarsky had Batman say that the generation behind them, behind his own generation, is ready, to step forward and take or replace them if necessary. That's the part that I enjoyed.
He says
That
they're all good people. Yeah.
Yep,
So it's
and
like it's setting up
they're
for that team that shows up in future state. So I think
right.
that
The
that's
Earth,
what this is, the precursor to it for sure.
that's right. The Earth is in good hands, and so much so that Hal looks at him and says, "Hey, I never thought Batman would be an optimist."
He said,
And
"You all good?" Yeah, yeah. See, Batman says something about it. He's like, "You good? You all right?"
yeah, and the the mouthing off of Lobo to Superman is
Oh man,
it,
hit a
it,
nerve.
it's so commonplace, but man, Zdarsky did it so well. This I like. Batman just gives him the stink eye in the end, or pardon me, Superman gives him the stink eye in the end, and then Lobo's like, "Oh, I touched a nerve. Pardon me, did I strike a nerve?" And starts laughing so much so that Superman just walks away. We all know Superman could just turn around and give him a little laser eye for a little bit, just like you better
And
check
Lobo would be
yourself before
fine.
you're, yeah, yeah. I
But yeah,
mean,
it's
yeah,
cool because Superman, and we saw in the first issue that he's at a place in his life where he doesn't think he has long left, anyways. Like, so we know that Superman's burning a candle at both ends, and he's having dreams as well of his end coming. So he came into this mission with a assumption that this possibly might be the end, and Lobo starts making kind of sly remarks to him about like, I can see the look on your face, big guy. Like this ain't right. Something's off with this one. You're not getting out of this one alive, and if you do, you're going to have to get blood on your hands. And that's what really struck the nerve with him, is Superman coming to that realization, and like after already the way he felt going into this, like what is it going to take to see Lois again? Am I willing to make those decisions? Am I going to sacrifice who I am to get what I want? Or it was a pretty deep issue. But that armada shows up at the end. You got John Stewart and Wonder Woman. She just crawls out on the spaceship and just stands
just
on top of it, battle
just
armored out.
ready to go.
Yeah, ready to rock. And that's how it pretty much ends with her on top of the spaceship, and Hal and Batman were going. Where were they going? They're going to do something to go check on some building, like that was 1,400 miles away.
Yeah, they were looking for for a fortress, were they not?
Man, I don't remember.
Uh,
I'm on vacation brain right now, bro. Darkseid's control center and try to activate the planet's defenses. Okay, so they're
right.
trying to set up from the ground. So
Mhm.
they make it to the building, open the door, and yeah,
We don't
they
get to
walk. They
see
walk
what.
in. They don't know what they
So
got going on. Yeah,
no, in the
I
end,
was kind
it's
of
just
expecting
Lois. It's just Lois still reminding Clark that you're not alone. Like we get to see Wonder Woman get ready for battle against a large armada. We get to see Green Lantern and Batman walk into this place,
and they just cut
and
it off on us.
in the end, it's Lois talking to Superman, just reminding him that you're not alone.
It's pretty
Uh,
smooth writing, isn't it? Like
yeah,
kind
it
of
was good. It's
very,
good
it's very
narration.
cinematic. It's very
Hmm.
cinematic where you get like the quiet images of Wonder Woman crawling out while Lois is dialoguing over it. Hal and Bruce going into the facility, and yeah, but man, it cut off quick. I'm liking these little after credits though with director Bones, how they're really trying to sell the Infinite Frontier stuff. Which,
Yeah,
man, that stuff has been good. But like the stuff that they're showing on here with the computer screens and all the images, you have director Bones looking at stuff for Fear State, for Superman, Son of Kal-El, for Superman and the Authority. There's a lot of multiversal stuff going on the screens behind them. It's getting me really excited.
but yeah, it was good, and that's what we expect from Zdarsky. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Did you read Infinite Frontier? Have you jumped on that at all? I can't remember if you were.
I
You
read
were
0
participating.
and 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 came out this past week, I think.
Yes.
Oh man, it was good. Oh man, it was good.
Now, does Darkseid have dialogue in this issue?
Hey man, maybe. He does. He definitely does. And we kind of get more placeholders to where everyone was and kind of gets everyone moving in a direction. We kind of get Roy playing with the fact that he was unaware that he had a black ring and he's not sure why he has it. He's trying to get using it and everything. And while he's getting it fired up, you see this dark energy starting to take over him. And basically, you hear Darkseid's voice like call for his ring to come back to him. Like Darkseid, like if this is the ring of death, like he's the shot caller from afar, not even wearing it for the ring. And I thought that was beast mode. I am tired. I'm a little bit tired. It's vacation. I'm sitting here like sprawled out on my couch boat with my oar, trying to call back my memory to what all I've read.
Now, have you read Detective Comics 1039?
No, I've got that on my to-do list.
Okay.
I'll end up reading it in the morning probably. Let's see. I've got Infinite Frontier right here. No, wrong button. But I think that was really the last like big good one that I read was Infinite Frontier that really hit. We have Chase who works for the department show up and start getting added into the story. She's trying to recruit Captain Atom, right? Because she wants somebody who's big hitter who's familiar with the multiverse stuff. Because like his when Jim Lee came to DC Comics, he brought Wildstorm with him. And Wildstorm was his imprint at Image Comics, where he created a bunch of characters and stuff. And Grifter is one of those characters that came over and is in DC continuity. For those that don't know, Grifter is not an original DC Comics character. He's a Wildstorm character that Jim Lee created while under Image. And
Wildcats.
yes, sir. Which, if you have Tubi, you can watch the TV show, which was fantastic. But me and Finn been going back and watching it. But so she goes to Captain Atom because the whole storyline where they bring in the Wildstorm universe in the DC Comics, they didn't just bring it over. They actually wrote a story bringing it over where after the events of, at the time, it was called Superman Batman. The book is now Batman Superman. But Superman Batman, there's a kryptonite meteor come to Earth, and Captain Atom flies a ship into it, smashing it into the meteorite and blowing up the meteorite and keeping it from destroying Earth. Well, he doesn't die. He gets thrown into a different universe. And it was the Wildstorm universe. And it was a story, I think it was 12 issue story called Captain Atom Armageddon. And meet characters, fight, comes back to Earth, and some of the characters come with him. So she goes to Captain Atom trying to recruit him, and he's on an army base, and she's talking to him and this and that. And he's being total pacifist. He's like, my days of fighting are over. I just want to live happily, this, that, and the third. And she finally goes, live happily. What happened to what you told me where you would never stop fighting until there's peace on this entire planet? And his response was, people change. That was the old me, blah, blah, blah. And she pulls a gun on him and says, you've never said that to me a day in your life. What Earth are you from? And he just goes sad. He just goes sad at him. He's like, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do this. Blah, blah, blah. And he grabs his chest and he just peels his own chest open. If you know Captain Atom, he's just a containment for nuclear energy inside of him. So he peels his own chest open, and his last words that he says, Darkseid is. It just blows up. Nuclear explosion destroys the whole facility, everything. That's how the issue ends. Like, it was so good, dude. It was so good. She tries to call it in at the last minute. He said he'll find out. He'll come for me. I'm sorry, Cameron. So, like, he was hiding out from Darkseid pretty much, and his last, like, he's been found out, so he's just going to self-destruct. It was wicked.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the read, man. You get some throwback stuff, some memory stuff with Roy. You get some Alan Scott just arguing with Vandal Savage about going to find his daughter, and him and Obsidian set off to go find Jade. So everyone's kind of moving in the direction, you know.
President
It's all
Superman in this?
yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
see him like he's with Thomas Wayne. You remember Thomas Wayne landed
Yep.
his parents' farm pretty much, but he's with Thomas Wayne, and they're going around looking for devices and structures all throughout the multiverse to try to put these pieces back together that are raining down everywhere. And they go to Earth 22, which excites me. Kingdom Come, you know, big fan of Kingdom Come. So we get
Yes.
Magog, we get Magog
Oh,
in this issue.
okay.
But yeah, it was a great issue, man. It was really good. What? Grifter's the same Grifter from Image? That makes so much sense. Yeah, same guy. Clay Cash.
Are you talking about PTT? Are you talking about the pick from today or last week's Sinister War? I'm presuming he's probably talking about today. Today
He's
was a little bit more
he's
of
a big indie guy.
okay. So
He's
yeah,
like an
today was
indie
a little bit more out of the
aficionado.
box. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was you got all up in his box today. It was out of some boxes, but you got all up in his box and swirled, my dude.
Yeah.
You went tippy
Okay.
toes on him.
So
You
yeah,
stood up in his box.
I'm not touching that one, but yeah, what
Yeah, he
PTT is
said
talking
today.
about, yeah, today's like we mentioned earlier, Mark and I released two cool guys swap picks, and I went independent. Mark went mainstream, but I really think I'll be honest with everyone that's watching. I really struggled with my pick because I wanted the Jen Bartel variant of what Mark's pick was, and I knew when I saw the solicitation for Mark's pick, I'm like, this has Mark written all over it. But if Mark wasn't going to do that pick that he did, my hot pick was just going to be a cover buy, and it's the Jen Bartel cover of what Mark's pick was. And so for those that haven't watched it, please take a moment in the next couple days, check out two cool guys hot picks, and you'll see what PTT is also talking about with my hot pick being a real independent. I would say it's truly an independent, and I think that it's a big spec book too, considering who the writer is and what she's done in the past.
I think like at this point with how many of these covers that they've been doing though, I know it's not a Frederici cover, but it's in the same
It's
vein as them.
yeah, it's the same wheelhouse for sure. And I really think Bartel's cover is better than the Federici that's coming out this week. But I get Federici's doing it a
He's doing
lamer
the quiz cover,
character.
right?
He's and Bartel is doing a major character. So yeah, but I think it that this major character, it's the cover of the year so far for this character. But yeah, okay, two cool guys swap picks. That's the cover. That's
It's
just
wicked.
that's stunning.
Yeah. So it's here's the throw off for me, okay? It's Superman and the Authority. He's got his classic S on. And
I know exactly where you're going, but it's the Kingdom Come
yeah,
Superman S
but
on
yeah,
in the
I would like to
solicitation.
see him rocking the Kingdom Come S. I mean, I don't know what the story's going to start out as, or what you know. It could very well start out as him in his regular suit, and it's still
Yeah,
awesome. I like how soft it looks. You know, it's black and
it
white, but
really
it's
has a
very
Reeve
soft.
flavor to it. It really she
Yes,
really painted like a Christopher Reeve flavor to it,
but you
and
see how it had like soft lighting to it and everything.
yeah,
It reminds me of Batman the animated series. I'm like I don't know how to describe it, man. It looks like it
with
has a
that
time
30s and
error to it.
40s, yeah,
Yes, it looks like it has a
yeah,
time error to it, doesn't it?
yeah. It's it's I think it's the best Superman cover this year. I know Action had had two great
Yeah,
covers.
they had that
Yeah,
George Reeves
yeah.
looking one, the Jimmy
But
Don Kerr variant.
right, yeah. But like Mark, let's just be honest. That's that
That's a sick
she
cover.
nailed the Man of Steel right there.
What's going on, Steve? You did make it. We were just taking a look at that Superman and the Authority issue number one, the cover B, I believe, or it might be a cover B. I don't know because I did see three covers for it. So there's a Superman and the Authority number one Hitch variant, the main cover, and then this is the Bartel variant. It doesn't really specify if it. None of them have ratio written on it.
No, when I was doing the editing for it, I didn't see that. I didn't see a 1 in 25 or anything on the third cover, so I'm not sure if it's an exclusive to somewhere or not.
I don't know. I would love to have it, but I don't. I mean, I've kind of I'm on vacation right now, so I don't know how much money I'm going to end up spending on vacation. But then again, I'm going to a foreign LCS on Wednesday, so
You're cheating on the Augusta Book Exchange, yeah.
no, I would. Mark is grinding from his. I'm not in a hotel, man. I'm not hanging out with hookers or crackheads right now. As Chris scratches his neck, we're in the
Crack
condo,
doesn't
bro.
cut itself, man.
We're in the condo, Steve. The crack doesn't cut itself. See, this how you know it's not a hotel because we have an or if we need it.
I thought he meant like you're grinding out a lot, like a 2-hour session at 12:30 at night. That's what I thought he meant when he said that you're grinding it out in your hotel room.
Mark is grinding from his hotel room. I think he just means the channel. It's just pretty
Yeah.
effortless. Like I was telling people at the beginning of the stream, everyone's in bed. They all went to bed early. It's a lot of work to relax, and I'm not saying that jokingly.
It is hard to let go some days.
Yeah, when you're just doing your routine, your regular routine, you get used to it. When you throw that off and you don't have anything to do and you just get to relax, your body's like, I will relax right now. I'm not grinding out online by working late while you're on vacation. This isn't work, man. I'm just hanging out with Chris. We're just talking comics. You want to hop on, Steve? Let me know. You can come grind with us. Chris is big on grinding, getting up in people's boxes, we doing all kinds of stuff.
Where are you going? But yeah. That feud's over.
No, I hate Chris. That's funny. The Orlux makes the room like a Florida or Key West type hotel room. I haven't been to the Keys in a while. I think it's been like about 8 years. That man, it's fun. That place is nice. Like Ernest Hemingway's house is down there, and it's like the southernmost tip of the United States and stuff. Grinders and hoagies.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, we'll be going for those who are late. I'm going to be hopping down to Florida Wednesday. We're going to go spend the day down there and check out there's bookstores nearby. Like there's a BAM, a Books a Million that we hit today and found some cool stuff, some reading stuff. But I want to go check another shop, see what kind of wall books they have. There's a couple books that I kind of would like to buy like now, but I'm going to wait till Wednesday. And if I don't see them there, then I'll buy them. Chris, you're aware of one of them that I'm just going to hard purchase, but I'm waiting on a specific range on it. And there's a lot of those books don't have buy it now prices on them. They have auctions on them, so you got to wait them out. So I'm watching two of them from this week.
Okay, we'll do a video.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And then I have bought a couple of things on the eBay since I've been here. See, one of them I'm watching ends in 2 days and 19 hours. So, like I told you before, I'm going to try to purchase one while I'm here, so it'll get here not long after I get home. and that one's a little bit higher grade than I want. And I'm trying to swing low just for the sake of consistency, but that one's a 5.5. I think that's the lowest one I found.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, I actually purchased an action figure as well. I just had to.
Was
I've
it
been
the
thinking.
$6 million man where you can look through his eye?
No, my dad just got
I
that.
know that your dad got it. Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
Was it the red tracksuit and everything?
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
completely original and intact. Everything.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually a pretty good score on his part.
I,
And the my dad is retired law enforcement. He was a cop from like 1983 up until like 2000 whatever.
mhm.
And the guy that was running the booth was retired law enforcement as well. And that's what he does for a living now. Like in his retired, it's just deals in $6 million man and Barbie stuff. Is very specific, but a percentage of his proceeds goes back to the New York Transit Authority. Because that's where he was from. And help with like the those guys who deal with a lot of 9/11 issues.
Mhm.
After the fact.
Yep.
So there's the one my dad got.
Yes, sir. PTT just talked about Jean Paul Leon and picking up some of his work. I don't know, PTT, if you've been reading, is it Time After Time? The
I have
image,
not.
the Image Limited series. They actually had a JPL variant for issue number 1, and they did a small dedication to the man at the back of issue number 1.
Really cool.
Yep. Yep, that was a good first issue. The second issue was kind of, I know Ryan kind of felt the same way about it, but I will pick up issue number 3 just because I enjoyed issue number 1 so much. And then we'll see if it's a hot seat book or not.
Waiting for you to say you purchased an Action One. Oh, dude, I'm glad you said that. I got a message from Promiscuous Time Traveler because he's got one for me. I do collect Action Comics #1s. I collect the reprints that are not cheap
Right.
books. And
Yes.
Promiscuous Traveler right here can tell you they're not cheap books
This is
because
true.
dude, we're almost at 100 years for Superman. We are not far. We are less than
No.
20 years away from that book having its 100th year anniversary. Like, if everything goes right, I'll be able to celebrate that and pick up some badass variants for when that drops. Like, can you imagine how epic it's going to be when we get to that anniversary point? But all that to say, there's been very awesome and very strange reprints over the years. Like, you had the Safeguard reprints where you had to mail in proof of purchases were Safeguard to get one. Basically, you had the Nestle reprint, you had the 50th anniversary reprint, you had the sleeping bag reprint, you've had the U.S. Postal Service special edition with the gatefold on the cover and the not gatefold on the cover and stuff. Like, there's so many different ones. I collect them. I got the Loot Crate one from 2017, but Promiscuous Time Traveler here has the sleeping bag one that I'm gonna. Steve, that's not a problem, bro. Just don't point the camera down. But he's got the sleeping bag one that I'm supposed to be getting off of him.
Yeah. I can remember the miniature or mini comics being of Action Comics 1 being put in the back of action figures as well. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which ones have done that. I know Marvel Legends is crazy about that, but talk about the mini versions or the full size ones.
Like it's a small size mini comic book that was stuck in the back. Was it Secret Wars came out in the mid '80s with their figures, and then DC did one, but it wasn't called. I don't think it was called Super Friends, was it?
Superpowers.
Yeah, I thought there was a Superman figure or maybe a Superman toy, and when I mean toy, I mean like vehicle or something that I thought had a reprint of Action 1, but it was just like a small size, like maybe the size of like 2 trading cards put together.
I'm pretty sure that my dad has one of those because he collects those mini comics, and he beat me to a stack of mini Hulk ones one day. let's take a look at some of what reprints we see. Watch that when you get off. It's 2 minutes long. Steve just dropped the video early for channel members. Watch that when you get off. Jonathan says he has that vehicle.
Okay. Jonathan, do you remember if there was a comic book or a miniature comic book of Action 1 reprinted with that?
Which vehicle is this?
I
Not what series. You know what the
why am I
vehicle looks
thinking a
like?
chopper? But why would Superman need a chopper? I thought it was something to deal with Lexus, one of Lexus's vehicles.
Yeah, the purple vehicle where he was like the center, like the hard plastic glass
Yeah.
looking thing popped up. That's Project Superpower, not Project. That's the Superpowers, the
Superpowers line.
superhero Superpowers
Mhm.
line or whatever it was.
Or maybe there was a mail away for Action 1. We're going back many, many years. I do remember the
It was
first
from
figure I
Kenner.
picked up.
It
Yeah,
was from
it was all
Kenner that
Kenner.
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you right here. It's
Out of
definitely Superpowers. But
Cincinnati.
I've got the
Mhm.
Superman ones. I've got the Flash one that's wind up and everything. I've got a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've got the Aquaman where you twist his back and his little legs kick and stuff. There's the Joker right there.
I had the Green Lantern.
See, there's a Superman. They did 2 different versions of Superman, right? They did 2 different Green Lanterns as well. There's one of the Green Lanterns where it comes with like he's got a hole in the back of his elbow that you slide a little tube into, and you can squeeze
Yep.
it, shoot the water out his fist and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of these Supermans that has a magnet in his chest, and it comes with an actual ring you get to put on your child hand and hold it to his chest, and the magnets push him down. Yeah, look at the dark side. Need that. Dark side's going for 125. Don't need that. A bunch of cards for him. El Dorado. Like, look at that. That's crazy. Martian Manhunter. Look at the Batmobile. There's the Superman Supermobile.
Now, does it say anything about an action? No. How much is that toy? How much are they asking for that toy? Or is it an auction?
It's just 65. Contents, 1 vehicle. That's all you got.
Okay. Why does Superman need a plane?
I don't know. Why does Superboy need a motorcycle? But I've got a Superboy motorcycle from when I was a kid. You know the 90s Superman line of toys? That was like the coolest Superman line of toys.
Oh,
They did a lot from it was all comic book related, man. Not the animated series stuff, but
no action one with a toy.
McFarlane stuff is crazy. He goes Farland. No. Dude, where's just one of them? There we go. This line right here. See, there's steel. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Now, there's nothing behind those figures, right? That's just art.
These
That's
are
just
cards. These come with
Okay.
cards, like legit cards. So these are the Superman Man of Steel line from Kenner.
just after the death of Superman, right?
Yeah. And there's a 2-pack like Superman and Doomsday even.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you, Steve. Sorry, man.
We need to call another Burt family members only stream soon so I can show off the Burt box early so I can show it to everyone else to get more to join us and know who this masked man is. LOL. Steve, you know who the masked man is. Jonathan said no action comics with a toy.
Right.
For everybody in the chat, there are 11 people watching, but if you're a big fan of spec books, even a Venom issue number 9, first full appearance of Dylan Brock is included in this month's Burt box. And if you don't know what a Burt box is, it's one of the benefits for the channel members. Every month he does a drawing strictly for the family tier members to win a giant mystery box that are on average valued at, I would say, $80, but they seem to like value out a little bit higher than that, to be honest with you. But he's for this last month he had a signed copy of Spawn 300, the Clayton Crane variant that he got signed included in one, which is fantastic.
I thought I remember
See,
seeing
this
his
is the
post on
Superman
Instagram.
right here that
Mhm.
came in the 2-pack with Doomsday, that one right there. But that's just one of the cleanest Superman figures I've ever seen right there. Still have my Superboy right there, but this Superboy was gifted a motorcycle in the toy line. And it's cool because the front wheels and the back wheels separate in the center and fold out to where it becomes like a hover bike. And my brother had that John Henry Irons. That's ridiculously awesome. So I want to go back and get all these to actually play with. But it's cool because I have Finn, so I can buy whatever toys I want to play with. But look what I got for Finn. There's just a great
So
line of action figures.
did I hear it right that Nick is one of the last couple Burke boxes?
Nick won 2 in a row, but the last one, Kidrano Prince won. The guy,
Oh, okay. The big
Michael, who I
the
had
biggest
3D.
the biggest hands on YouTube.
Yeah. He does the awesome 3D printed stands and custom stands
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah. He's a good dude.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
See, action cut. Here's the Nestle reprint in an 8.5. I don't have the Nestle reprint. I think that one and the sleeping bag one are the two that I'm after. But that sleeping bag one, I'm going to be getting from Prometheus Time Traveler. Talked to him already about it. And here's the 50-year anniversary. Safeguard reprint in 9.8. Wow, I've got that one. I doubt mine's a 9.8. These are such thin pages. Like, that's unheard of right there.
Yep. Or click on that. What was the year of release for that? Was that like 88,
Yeah,
87?
this is 70s, man. Yeah,
What one came out? Which one came out before the death of Superman?
this is 76. The 50-year
Okay.
anniversary one was 88.
Okay. I remember that was thin stock as well.
So this is 76. I can't believe this got a 9.8. They must take into consideration the paper type, you know what I mean? Because I mean, these are super thin, dude. When you open, like you can see through the front cover in the picture right here, just in the zoomed image. Like look above his
Yeah.
cape and under the car, you
Yeah.
can see the print from the inside cover. You can see the words from the inside on the far right. Like look at the rock. You see how it has like type on the rock over the front grill of the car, then above it? That's all from the inside page. See, free when you buy 3 bath size safeguards. And look, there's ink next to the N, to the left and the right of the N. That's crazy that got a 9.8. But they have to take into consideration the print type.
What's the buy now?
There's not one. It's just $41. I might be back off, Chris.
So I gotta go.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
You
We are
see, you
Legion.
see, you see a ton of these Loot Crate ones because there's the most recent ones. Here's a sleeping bag reprint. It's got 0 bids at $23. That looks like it's in poor shape. But it's just the bag that it's in. Oh, it is in poor shape. It has a chip missing out the side of there. I wouldn't even go for that one.
Looks like it's been in the sleeping bag.
Yeah, there you go. $100 sleeping bag reprint. 1976 also. Nice copy. Nice don't pay the bills.
Just think, man,
That doesn't look
that
bad.
comic wasn't released right there. Me and you may not be sitting here today.
Yeah. This doesn't I mean nice is nice, but what is
That book has been enjoyed.
yeah. That's the inside pages, obviously. What do they have here? Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, that book has definitely been read. You can see like little creases where it's been held. Let's see, what does Jonathan say here? Kedrano picked the Ranger set, so Jimmy, who came in second, is ecstatic to get the regular Burke box. LOL. Oh, yeah, there's 2 Burke boxes given away last month. I have that line of figures too, Mark. Oh, you cheeky mofo. I was going to ask if that cover is supposed to look like that. Looks like UV damage to the cover. No, they're just that the covers are that thin, man. They're
Yeah.
like printed on newspaper.
Yeah.
See, the Loot Crate one, that's from 2017, right? That Loot Crate one, and I don't remember how. That's when Loot Crate was actually like pretty reputable. Look, here's a 9.8 of the Safeguard one, $343 by it now.
What are the 9/8s on the loot crates going for? $100?
$129.99.
Yeah.
Here we go. The Nestle Quick reprint in a 9.8 listed for $565. Granted, there's 0 bids, but you know these. I mean, let's get real. Like, if you want action number 1, you're gonna have to just go to like the oldest reprint and start shopping. All right, here's one of the U.S. Postal stamp ones that I was talking about with the gatefold cover on it.
Mm-hmm.
These things are so cool. Like, it's a 100% the original book. Because most of these Superman reprints only reprint the Superman story, you know? So this isn't just celebrating Superman, it's celebrating Action Comics.
So you got the ads.
It's the ads, it's the other
Yeah.
stories, it's a full reprint. It's fantastic. And there's 2 of them. There's a variant. There's one that has the gatefold on it. And there's something different about this part of it with the stamps right there. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah. Got those. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Action Comics #1 reprint Peanut. What is this? This one's on mycomicshop.com. Bronze Age, 1983. So this is before the 50-year. This was a mid-grade item will have enough minor defects that it is clearly worse condition than a brand new blah, blah, blah. I don't know about. From 1983. So this one in a 6.5 is listed at $105. And see, this one has like the ink marks on the A and everything. You can see through the pages also the words that are diagonally across on the, see over his cape?
Yep.
See straight through that yellow. So it's pretty cool. They're awesome reprints. Have a good night. Yeah, I know Time Traveler said earlier how many there were.
All right. 1 o'clock in the correct time zone. 2.5 hours in. It's been fun.
8 reprints, he said. 8 reprints.
Let's say PTT, he's out on the left coast, is he not?
I'm not sure. But on the Loot Crate one, they zoomed in from the original cover as well. It's always a dead giveaway with a guy who's running. And if you're looking at the cover,
the left
it's like,
corner?
Yeah, the bottom left corner. You can always tell. And then some of them, his tie is a different color too. It's red in some and blue in some. But I don't know why they take that liberty like that. You sleepy, Chris?
Getting there. Yeah, I
Getting
thought he was
there.
in. I thought he was in California. They know how to party.
Oh, it's 10 p.m. there. All right. Well, I guess we'll cut it off then. Fine. Be that way. Be that way. Just sit here in the condo all by my lonely.
We could talk. We could debate. Like, is it pronounced Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi?
It is Shang-Chi. I know you say Shang-Chi, but
I say Shang-Chi.
yeah, but that's not the proper pronunciation. It's Shang-Chi.
We'll find out because Shang-Chi's Canadian.
You know, well, in all seriousness, it's just Shang-Chi, but that's cool.
In all seriousness, it'll always be Shang-Chi. But yeah,
you can say Shang-Chi if you want.
I thought Feige pronounced it Shang-Chi.
I don't know how Feige pronounces it. I mean, he might pronounce it wrong also, but
in in the end, it's not our culture, so we're gonna have to wait from from one of the characters in the culture to actually say his name properly for us to know.
Was it ever said in the trailer yet? I didn't like thinking back on it.
No,
I don't know.
no, it's just it's the voice of his father just referring to him as his son. Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Which tick are you watching? Are you watching the animated series, which is fantastic? Are you watching the live action from the late '90s with Patrick Warburton? That's fantastic. Or are you watching the Amazon series? That's good.
Yeah.
I got to know. I love the tick. That's something great about Free Comic Book Day every year. You get a new
We
a
get
new
a tick.
book. Yeah,
Yeah,
they are
we get
consistent
a
with
tick.
them. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Now, I
that.
remember last year when we didn't have Free Comic Book Day proper. If you ordered from mycomicshop.com anytime during the era of Free Comic Book Day, they let you pick a free comic book. They had a Dropbox added to their website at checkout where you could still get gifted a free comic book. It was awesome.
I remember watching an interview in the early '90s with the owner of Mile High, and I remember him
Chuck.
specifically saying that he thought the best independent that he ever read was The Tick. But that was early '90s. So, but yeah, and that's
Dude,
how I
he's such
got
a
that.
great character.
Yeah, that's how
He
I found
doesn't he
out.
doesn't have an origin. He doesn't know his origin. Doesn't care.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Midnight Bomber. What bombs at midnight? Come on, Dinosaur Neil.
yeah. It's just a fun character. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Deflator Mouse, and they got in trouble because it's just Batman in Spanish, so they had to change his name to Batman. Well, it's awesome. If you haven't seen the live action one from the '90s with Patrick Warburton, that's it. That's the ultimate tick. That is it. Spoon, yes, yes. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate y'all all hopping on for the special edition of That Week's End. There'll be an extra special edition next week because I'll have just gotten home that day. So yeah, I'll be getting home a week from today. Man, that's sad. Ugh, it's coming so
yeah.
fast.
Well, the three-headed monster should be back to normal next week.
This was a fun show, man.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was really chill.
Very good.
Back to watching Hamilton. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate you all tuning in. And until next time, as always, he's Chris. I'm Mark, but we are Legion.